I didn't move it.
Put us on the air. Mine's way low now.
Yeah, now it's like lower than hell.
It was nice before. Why does he get mad if we have it up that loud?
Because it'll get hot on the broadcast. I mean, I can hear fine. If that sounds good, that's fine by me.
Can I get a little more? Mine's weak.
We didn't. I swear. It was Gigi.
This is low. Can I get that going?
That's pretty high.
Okay, all right. I'm good.
Flab.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
UMass Boston getting set to take on Wentworth Tech. Wentworth Tech. I'll call him Wentworth.
Wentworth
Tech. We're following the rundown, but I just have a lot of questions to ask Matt.
We got a lot to talk about
once we get through.
So let's get to it. I got the heart of a champion. I got the heart of a champion. I got the heart of a champion, and I will not give up.
Give up, why I've been fighting all my life just to get a little taste or a slice of that pie. I train hard to play hard, even on my off days I stay on to rise above the weakness that I prey on. I'm over for the sunlight till the day's gone. The early bird gets the craze, and the bookworm gets the brain, and I'ma get it all.
And I've been waiting all my life just for this one night to show I can do it. So let's get to it. I got the heart of a champion. I got the heart of a champion. I got the heart of a champion. I will not give up.
As the crisp, cold air of Edward T. Berry Ice Rink envelops us and the slicing sound of freshly sharpened skates cascades through Clark Athletic Center, a new era of UMass Boston hockey begins tonight. It's the season opener between Wentworth and your UMass Boston Beacons. Up next, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Good evening, friends. Along with Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudris. The exhibitions are over, and weeks of hard work culminates with tonight's season opener. It's the Wentworth Leopards taking on your UMass Boston Beacons from Clark Athletic Center. A lot of new faces on Beaconville. Peter Bilal returns behind the bench, and Colin Larkin remains the team's top offensive force. However, there are plenty of new faces around him. For a preview of who to keep an eye on, I turn to my partner in crime, Matt Meisenbacher. And Matt, first of all, nice to have you back for the 2017-18 year. Hope to have it be a good one. Now, the new faces are plenty. There's just a couple in the lineup tonight, including freshman Zach Bross, Jack Riley, and Nick Albano, as well as junior transfer from Suffolk, Justin Holliday. But for a majority of those players I just named, this is the first game of their collegiate careers. What might be going through their mind this evening as they get set to begin their campaign on Beaconville?
Well, first off, happy to be here. Very exciting. First game of the year, and it's always exciting to be doing it with you, John. It's going to be another good one. I think, the first place I want to start, the losses, right? You lose Tyler Bishop, Albie Daly, and we're talking about 46% of their total points from last year. So two big shoes to fill, and you're going to need someone to step up rather quickly. So you look at the team from last year, and I'll get to the freshmen in a minute, but we've got Drew Gannon, who admittedly had a down year, needs to step up. They expect more scoring out of him. He'll be the third-line center tonight. Garrison Santapass, he's on the second line tonight playing the left side. He was injured most of the year, and he's a big force in front of the net. He can shoot the puck as well. They're going to need him to fill a little bit of that role. We saw what Nolan Redler can do. He's going to be on that left side as well. Strong freshman year. They're going to look for him to follow it up on the sophomore campaign. And then you mentioned Colin Larkin. What can be said? The guy has over 100 points in only 3 seasons. He's going to add to that total this year. To get to the freshmen, big opportunity, and there's going to be a lot of butterflies. You've been waiting on this for a very, very long time, most kids their entire life, and you walk in, you feel the atmosphere, you feel the locker room, the guys are behind you. From a freshman's perspective, you're just trying not to make too many mistakes too early, and I guarantee you this much, Coach Blyle's going to run 4 lines real quick out of the gate. Let everyone touch the ice, everyone get a shift under their belt, get some of those butterflies out of the way, and they'll be better off for it. But you see tonight, that top line, I mentioned Redler and Larkin, they've got a freshman on the right side, and Zach Bross, he's going to be coming out of St. Louis, Missouri, about 6 feet tall, and they're really, that's a big role for a freshman to step right into. They'll follow it up, second line. We mentioned Santa Pass. They got David McGregor. That's another individual who needs to step up this year. He's another one down year, a couple injuries. Need him to step up. He'll be the second line center with Dakota Keene on the right. Third line, we have Sifferlin, Gannon, and Riley. And then they'll follow that up with the yellow line, Wickline, Knockbauer, and Holiday. Those round out the forwards for the Beacons right now.
Be interesting to see what we get out of Garrison Santa Pass. He came on really with reckless abandon 2 years ago. 22 points in 31 games. Looked outstanding. His 6'5", 240 frame in front of the net is certainly a force to be reckoned with. We'll hope that he can continue his strong play this year. And, of course, you mentioned Zach Bross, a native of St. Louis, Missouri. The St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the West. Let's see if he can be a gateway to success for UMass Boston in 2017-18. The Beacons are hoping to improve on a disappointing 12-11-3 record from a year ago. That came on the heels of a Frozen Four appearance in 2015-16. One key for a renaissance will be the performance of UMass's trio of talented goalies. The team returns Jordan Bustard and Bailey McBurney and welcomes tonight's starter, former Daniel Webster standout Anthony D'Urso, to the roster. All three played in the exhibition last Saturday. All three are expected to play this season. I spoke with Coach Belisle after that exhibition game, and he had no qualms about telling me that all three will compete with each other for playing time. And Matt, we talked about this off the air a few minutes ago. 3 goalies alternating in a short D3 season. It's not exactly ideal. What do you see with that strategy, and how might it hamper what the Beacons are trying to do?
You know, it's funny. I've been a part of the program and following it for so many years now. It's very rarely where we know it's going to be this guy's year all year. I came in as a freshman. The last guy I can remember, and we're talking, geez, I don't want to date myself here, but we're talking to Kevin Bendel. Geez, that was like 7-8 years ago at this point. And you knew going in he was the goalie. It was his year. Since then, it's really been a coin flip, and Coach has done a great job in recruiting, bringing guys in. He leaves it up to the goaltenders. Now, from a goaltending perspective, I got to be honest, not warranted. Not something you look forward to, especially it's hard enough when 2 guys are going toe-to-toe. You mix in a third, and on one hand, I mean, goalies love to compete, but there's a lot of mental aspects that go into playing the game as well, and it's something to be said for solidifying, especially and when you incorporate the team, knowing who's going to be your backstop night in and night out. I would expect there to be a battle going forward, maybe the first few games, but I would say by Thanksgiving time, this team really needs to at least narrow it down to 2. The biggest question mark right now is in the goaltending net, or in the Beacons net rather, and to have 3 guys, no doubt have a competition, but your hope is that one of these goaltenders will step up and take the reins moving forward.
2 questions to build off of that. First of all, we have not seen Anthony D'Urso, except for I saw him for 20 minutes last week against high schoolers. Can't take much account into that. We saw a lot of Bailey McBurney as a transfer a year ago. We obviously saw a lot of the freshman Bustard a year ago.
Yep.
Just from what you saw out of McBurney and Bustard, and I don't want to slight either of them, they're both good goalies, who would you anticipate, or if you were the goalie, who would you go with?
Yeah, it's a tough question because, usually at that point you rely upon seniority. But you've got Bustard, who's only a sophomore. You've got McBurney, who's a transfer sophomore. And then you got D'Urso, who's a transfer junior. So you don't have that to fall back on. And most coaches will tell you, well, I'm just going to start with the senior and see what he can do. Not the case here. I think Bustard showed me a lot. He stepped in as a freshman. I thought he really played well. He's a solid goaltender. He plays his angles well. You rarely catch him out of position. I think he has a lot of talent. McBurney, on the other hand, super athletic. I remember he had a great game in that frozen Fenway. Really played well. That was one of, if not the first, might have been one of the first games he came in last year after the transfer from Sacred Heart. He's a very athletic kid, and like you said, this D'Urso kid, Daniel Webster, he holds all the records. We were joking about this off air. He holds all the records. The program is no longer there. You got to
forever hold him.
He's forever the record holder at Daniel Webster and for their program. So, him stepping in, and obviously, I think Coach obviously knows his team is better than anybody, and he saw something in this D'Urso kid. The kid faced a lot of shots last year, so I think he's thinking, and if I could put myself in his brain right now, he's thinking, okay, kid knows how to face rubber. He's a good person to start with. Let's see what he can do. We'll throw him in there, throw him trial by fire.
And folks, as you see on your screen, we are active on all your social media avenues, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Be sure to tweet us during the broadcast at UMass Beacons. We'll read your tweet on the air, get a little airtime, and of course, communicate with us, any insight you have. Where you're watching the game, anything you want to discuss, we'd love to hear from you.
Love to talk to the fans.
UMass Beacons. Now, as for that goalie situation, my last question for you. 3 goalies, all relatively young or new to Beaconville. Can that create some resentment in the locker room when you have 3 guys competing for playing time, or does that feed into your competitive nature and make maybe things a little better?
Yeah, you know what? It's really one or the other. There's really no happy medium. I mean, I've been in plenty of goalie, tandem battles, going back to the days with Zach Andrews. I mean, we're still friends, and it worked well. I knew my role as the backup. He knew his role as a starter. Now I was ready on, moment's notice, but we kind of knew our roles and we played into that. I know, when Faust and Andrews came into play, it was a little bit different. Those guys both felt like they could start and were competing as such, and I don't know if they're as good friends as me and Andrews are. So, it usually is one or the other. Don't know these 3 or how the dynamic works. You hope that, they're behind the guy that's in net, and my gut instinct would tell me they are. But at the same time, no one comes and wants to play college hockey just to sit the bench. You want to get in there. So I'm sure that there's some healthy competition. My hope is that it doesn't boil over into, some of that derogatory stuff you see in situations like this. But my guess is for right now, very healthy competition, and these guys are going to push each other to be better.
I hope so as well. On the other side of the ice are the Wentworth Leopards, and it was a dismal campaign for the Cats last year. They struggled to a 5-17 record, and in that putrid record lies a struggling offense, scoring just 52 goals in 25 games. One reason for that putrid offensive performance, the power play, which went a putrid 12 for 127, good for just 9.4% success rate. Offensive leaders Jake McDonough and Angus Johnston return. They were tied for the team lead in scoring with just 13 points last year. The team welcomes new faces as well, including 5'10" former EHL star Brendan Lloyd. Matt, this is a team that struggled last year. They hoped for better things. They got a few new faces, including a Russian Georgy Gorodetsky from Yekaterinburg, Russia, and a transfer from Arizona State that we are excited to take a look at. But what do you expect to see from the Leopards as their slate is now clean?
How much practice did it take you to get that Yatakina Rush?
It took me a couple of times, and Seth Arensky advising me on how to say it.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good. I'm impressed. No, this Wentworth team, I mean, this is a team that's been, quote, up and coming for a while, and a lot of their woes are offensive, on the offensive side of the puck. I mean, 72nd out of 78 in Division III hockey. That's not going to win you many hockey games. So what do you do if you're a coach looking at your team, can't score? Well, let me go get 2 forwards from Division I. They transfer in, you mentioned the Russian, 44 tonight. He's on that top line, the left side, and both from Arizona State, mind you, a new program. So we've got the Russian on the left side, and we've got right wing Matt Kennedy, also from ASU, and those guys, there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of pressure on them early on to really set the tone. Obviously going to be on the power play, but those guys are going to carry the weight and hopefully improve the ranks of this offense.
Absolutely. The starters between the pipes will be Kenny Graham, a sophomore from Milton, Massachusetts for the Leopards, and Anthony D'Urso, the junior transfer from Daniel Webster for the UMass Boston Beacons. You see their numbers there. D'Urso's, of course, from his campaign last year with Daniel Webster. We'll have more on that in a few minutes on the pregame show. It's the season opener here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, and we are happy to have you with us. We're going to now take a break. We're going to take a look at a season preview, a look at how this campaign will unfold from 2 of their captains, the captain Colin Larkin and the assistant captain Gabe Chukrin, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I think we're much more focused this year. I think we really emphasized conditioning and our strength building in the offseason. It started back in the spring. We were really disappointed with how the year ended up going last year, so I think we really emphasized on getting in good shape. So I've seen the difference already, and I'm excited to get this year going.
The preseason's been awesome. The boys have been buzzing since day one. We've all been antsy getting ready for this day, so we're one day out, and I think the boys can't wait. Scrimmage, it's tough playing with 5 lines and 8D. You're not playing as much as you would, but our goaltending, that's the takeaway for me, is how good our goaltending is. Each guy stepped in, did a great job, and really proud of them.
Yeah, they've been great so far. I think we have some really encouraging freshmen coming in, and the transfers look good. I mean, we got Tony D'Urso from Daniel Webster, who led the country in saves last year, so that's a big get. And the freshmen did a good job, and the transfers too of really pushing the older guys. And we have a smaller lineup this year, but it's competitive for jobs, so it was really encouraging in that regard. And last year we didn't have the scoring, the depth of scoring that we would have liked. I think we lost 2 huge power play guys, 2 big scorers for us, and you can't really replace them. But I think if we can get team scoring and scoring throughout the lines, it's really going to help culminate the offense.
Well, we got a great freshman class coming in, a lot of skill and some big size there with Evan help. But I think look for Nick Albano to help chip in on the scoring department, and I think he'll do big things for us. Goaltending is going to be really competitive each week. I think those three guys are going to battle it out, and whoever's the best is going to play. And I think coach is going to ride the hot hand when he needs to. But I think that's a tough decision to make as a coach, because they're three really good goalies.
It's a new voice. It's Walshy's been around for a long time. He was so valuable to us recruiting and just his input. He's a hockey guy. It's great he got the job there at Southern New Hampshire. But Corey's been great so far. He's a new voice. It's just really encouraging. He's already changed the penalty kill and some other things, and I've been really impressed with him thus far, and I'm really excited to continue working with him.
I think that's going to help us in the long run, playing competitive games right out of the gate. The league, I think it's the best league in the country, and I'm really excited to get going.
The expectation hasn't changed. We want to be a national contender, and we want to, our conference is much tougher this year, but our goal is always, since I've gotten here, is always to win the conference and win as many games as we can. So I don't think the expectations have changed. I think there's a lot of things that need to change from last year, but the expectations have stayed the same.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. The players are on each respective side of the ice. Let's take a look at the all-time series matchup between these two squads. UMass Boston leading with 6 wins in 8 matchups. They're unbeaten in their last 7. The last Leopards win, comes a long time ago. I was still in high school, Matt. I think you were as well. 4-2 with a 4-2 win back on November 22nd of 2005. And the last meeting came a couple of years back with the Beacons winning 4-1. The Beacons have scored at least 4 goals in 5 straight.
I'm sure there's some people thinking 05 in high school, and you're making a joke.
Everyone says I'm old, aren't you? You would probably be like junior high in 05.
No,
right?
05 I'm in high school too, but I'm sure there's some listeners thinking, geez, 05, I had my 4th kid.
Well, some of those, we are a little younger than maybe our demographic. Nonetheless, older than the players. Let's take a look at the team stats for 2016-17. These are the stats from last year. You see there, Wentworth's numbers not good offensively. The Beacons almost 4 goals per game compared to just over 2 for the visiting Leopards. And you look at the shots per. Both teams put on a lot of shots, 42 to 34. As we take a look at the individual leaders from a year ago. And for the Beacons, of course, Colin, Larkin, Ryan Kuzin no longer with the club. He is no longer on campus. And Tyler Bishop, of course, graduated. So you're seeing already
all gone.
4 out of the 6 categories there, the leaders are gone.
Yeah, no, from a Beacon standpoint, they're all those, none of those players wear the jersey anymore. So someone's got, except for Larkin. And so, someone's going to have to step up, and it can't just be Larkin night in and night out. Teams are going to start to shadow him. They're going to build systems around. If Beacons prove that that's their only source of offense, it's going to be a long year.
It certainly will. We'll hope that they can show up beginning this evening. Let's take a look at our player to watch, Nolan Redler. And Nolan is one of those players that's going to have to step up. 10th among D3 freshmen with 1.12 points per game. He had 2 goals and an assist in the exhibition last week. Let's hope he can continue that pace tonight and beyond. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we will have the opening face-off, the season opener between Wentworth and the Beacons on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Nolan Redler, sophomore forward, Winchester, Massachusetts.
Colin, Larkin, senior forward, Waterford, Michigan. Zach Ross, freshman forward, St. Louis, Missouri.
Garrett Gallagher, junior defenseman, Aston, PA.
Gabe Chuckern, junior defenseman, Media, PA.
Anthony D'Urso, junior goalie, Rome, New York.
Matt Meisenbacher. I am John Skudris. We are all set for the opening face-off here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. It's the Wentworth Leopards and your UMass Boston Beacons, the 2017-18 season opener. And Matt, let's take a look at the keys to the game for this evening.
Yeah, early presence. First game, you're starting off the season here. So you got to get out. If you can't get that early lead, you got to at least establish yourself in all three zones. And 60-minute game, you hear this from Coach Blyle. He preaches this throughout the season, always does, a full 60 minutes. We're talking about not one good period, not two, all three. And the chemistry, new guys, a lot of new faces in this lineup. You're going to have to figure out who works well with one another and do these line combinations work.
Now, one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about is probably the Beacons' strength, the defense. Still only one new face on the defense. That's Nick Albano, a heavy-hitting freshman from Beverly. What do we expect out of the blue liner?
Well, this is the only non-question mark, and this is really the strength of the team. I mean, it starts with Chuckern and Gallagher. These guys know each other so well, play junior together from the same Philadelphia. Shout out to John Skudris from down in that part we don't talk about. Yeah, Seth, I see you there too, Philadelphia. But no, these guys know really how to play together, and they're really the backstop of this team. You're going to see them out there in all pressure situations. Brian Carter, Nick Albano. I'm interested to see. Carter had a pretty up-and-down year last year, finished strong. This Albano kid, we know he can hit, and Suffrandini and Bono. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good one here, John, tonight. We're about to drop the puck.
Yeah, we are. Colin Larkin against Jake McDonough, a couple seniors, as McDonough wins the faceoff and dumps it all the way down. Beacons will chase. Gabe Chuckern, the first one to get there, as we are underway from Clark Athletic Center, Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. Beacons over the line. Larkin with his first shot attempt. That's denied a block. Another chance with a backhander, and that's Nolan Redler, who came and got the trash and backhanded it into the glove of the netminder, Kenny Graham.
Yeah, he's our player to watch tonight. You see him on this top line. I'll tell you the thing I like about this kid, Redler, had a fantastic freshman year, but not only does he know how to get players the puck, he knows how to then get himself open, make himself an option, move the puck, find an open area, and that's where he scores a lot of his goals, is making a play and then finding an area of the ice that might not be covered.
Face-off win here for the Leopards, and moving up with it there was number 25, Emile Levesque, a native of Lac-Beauport, Quebec, as this is brought in over the line. A quick snapshot and a good save made from Gabe Chuckern's shot from the far side circle, and a little bit of extracurricular activity after the stoppage.
And you can see, early on, and this has been the Beacons' MO for a while now, is, they don't really try to do too much. When you see this team playing well, if they don't have an option, they fire it on net. And that comes from the coaching staff. I mean, he'll preach far pad and, making assists off goaltender, getting those greasy goals in front. Already 2 shots on goal. We're just under 30 seconds in.
Face-off won by the Beacons into the corner. Dakota Keene down there. It is siphoned around to the near side boards where Nick Albano takes a wrister, and the freshman defenseman misses far side just off the blocker side of the netminder. In the corner, UMass Boston comes away with a quick snapshot by Dakota Keene, sails through the net mouth and wide.
We're going to have a penalty here.
And so a first penalty of the season, and the Beacons should be heading to the power play, Matt, where they have really excelled in the past and found success in heading to the sin bin. Angus Johnston, a junior from Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah, they got him on an interference call. I think it was a 50-50 call. The puck was there, but Santa Pass hadn't touched it yet. They're going to get Johnston, and he checked him. They're going to get him on a interference call. But yeah, you see here, this has been a strong point for the Beacons. I'm curious to see here if they're running the same system they ran last year. They had success with it.
Face-off won by Redler. Here's Larkin at the point, just like last year. Drops it to the near side dot where Redler waits. To the point there, waiting for it is Albano. Here's Larkin, shot block, rebound, they score! Off the rebound, and who else? Our player to watch, Nolan Redler. The assist should go to Larkin, off the block in front. And just like that, 1:06 in, a power play goal. It's 1-0 UMass Boston.
Yeah, and I think Albano, he's going to get an assist too. It starts with him on the point, and good to see. He was the only question mark on the defensive side, and here he is getting some power play time. You see the offensive presence, and he reminded me, dare I say, a little bit of Tyler Bishop there. Look, picked his head up, quick release, a deflection in front. You're right, I think it went off Larkin, and then Redler was there to jam it home. 1-0 Beacons.
The Beacons get an early advantage, and it's a good thing against a team that struggled offensively a year ago, icing on Wentworth. And this is a team, you weren't here last week, Matt, for the exhibition. Now, granted, an exhibition against high school all-star team, but offensively and especially on the power play, the Beacons did not look good. Now, granted, Colin Larkin was not playing. They had Redler on the point where Larkin typically is. I think that this was a really important first goal to give some confidence as the Beacons win the face-off, and a backhander through the net mouth by Keene is just wide. Keene out there with McGregor and Santa Pass, big number 24, among the trees near the wall, as this one is sent to the blue line and out. Connecting there, moving forward is McDonough. McDonough fisted off of the puck there, and a good play by John Bono. This one cleared to the red line. Santa Pass can't settle it down. McGregor tumbles down like a tree in the forest. It's taken and moved back by Ethan Weiss out of Troy, Michigan. As he siphons this one off the near side glass, taken in his own zone by Bono. Tries to go to DD to Suffredini. As that one's in front, and a chance for a deflection is off the mark. Another chance, they score! A goal is scored by number 13. He's not on our initial. Oh, there he is. Garrett Jean, a sophomore from Fullerton, California. More of a California area,
our
the defenseman.
Our third defensive pairing. I missed him too, John. I couldn't find him. A simple shot off the wall there. And I'll tell you what, Seth, if we can bring that back at some point, I'm curious if there was a screen or a redirect. It looked like Durso had it lined up, blocker side, and then all of a sudden it was in the back of the net. So be very curious. We'll have to get that on replay when we can. If there was some sort of deflection or maybe a partial screen, but I'll tell you what, you talk about the shift after. You hear coaches talk all the time. You give up a goal, you score a goal. How's the shift after? Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't get much better than Wentworth. They tied it up 1-1, and we're only 2 minutes into this game.
Gannon out there with Sipperlin and the freshman Riley from Rentham, standing at 6'3", number 13 in white. It's 1-1. There's a high-rising blast from the point off the stick of Garrett Gallagher. First chance to mention Garrett's name, as that one was blocked down by the netminder Kenny Graham. There's a shot from the point, deflected just wide. The initial blast coming from Chukrin. The deflection by Jack Riley. And now here come the Leopards racing the other way. Good poke check play made by Garrett Gallagher to keep it out of harm's way, and the Leopards will go for a line change as they dump it in. 17:27 to go, first period. We already have a goal apiece. It's 1-1. First of the year from Nolan Redler, and the first of the year from Garrett Jean. Last season, Jean had no goals in 21 games, so a way to start off your sophomore campaign. As this one's picked off and moved forward, an opportunity for Knackbauer. Knackbauer tried to drop it back for Wickline. There's a shot from the point. That one will go up into the netting off the blast from Albano.
Well, we'll give you two replays here. We're going to go with the Beacons goal first, and you'll see this on the power play here. Maybe we'll get it to you next whistle.
They're showing it right here.
There we go. Yeah, so okay. I was angle out of the corner. My apologies.
So the face-off won by the Leopards. They get it out of harm's way into the red line where it's backhanded in by the goal scorer, Jean. That one right through the slot. And unable to get his stick on it was Tim Shea. Meanwhile, the Beacons emerge from the crowd with control. It's Knackbauer. Knackbauer over the blue line. Nice toe drag. Backhanded in front as that one's deflected by the junior transfer, Justin Holliday from Suffolk. That one's in front. A great save. Rebound chance. They score! The second chance is true, and what a goal delivered. I believe it is Cody Wickline who got dirty in the crease. And after the rebound, keen to his stick, he puts it in for his fourth career goal. It's 2-1, UMass Boston.
Yeah, I tell you what a net front presence there by Wickline. And it started on the rush. The center Knackbauer comes down the right side, and he looks to center it towards the front. Nothing there, and went and chased his own passes. In the corner, worked really hard and picked his head up, found Wickline in front. First shot didn't go, second one he jammed home. And I'll tell you what, he took a beating getting it there. He had two guys on him, both whacking him, but they forgot to pick up the stick. Wickline jams it home, and I'll tell you what, already 3 goals on the season, 2-1 Beacons.
Beacons went 1 for 6 on the power play last week against the EHL All-Stars. They're 1 for 1, and now they're up 2-1. Here's Colin Larkin, 2-on-1, quick shot, he scores! Top shot for Amala hides the cookies. Colin Larkin, a howitzer cannon, it's 3-1, UMass Boston.
Well, this brings me back, and I'll tell you what, I'm looking at the Wentworth coaching staff, and you're going to see this tender needs to make a save. You're going to see a quick goalie change otherwise, and I don't feel it's not Graham's fault. That was a 2-on-1 against one of the top scorers, if not the top scorer in Larkin, and he comes down, rips one blocker side, but already 3-1, and this plays in the Beacons' hands. I mean, they can score goals. This is not the type of game Wentworth wants to get involved in.
Absolutely not. The 41st career goal in the illustrious career of the captain, Colin Larkin, as this one is out of the zone. That's a delayed offsides. 2 points in the first 4 minutes for Colin Larkin. He now has 104 for his career.
And boy, can he shoot. I'll tell you, that puck is off his blade quick, and that was in the back of the net before Graham knew it.
That one is sent out of harm's way, dumped all the way deep by Bono. This will be icing on UMass Boston as Santa Pass cannot outrace Drew DiGeronimo.
Well, I'll tell you what, with all these goals, John, I think we gotta put the Twitter handle out there again. For those that may have joined us late, we are taking live questions. We will be throughout the season, and you can tweet at us. We prefer Twitter as our method of communication. It's going to be at UMass Beacons. That's at UMass Beacons, one word, all lowercase, and we'd love to hear your questions and comments. We'll put them on the air if they're G-rated, right, John? You got to keep them G-rated.
We'll make PG okay as
PG,
well here on the
right.
Beacons Broadcasting Network. 15:30 to go, first period. Matt Meisenbacher to my right. I'm John Skudras, and the Beacons have gotten off to a hot start offensively. A power play goal from Redler, a even-strength goal from Wickline, and another even-strength net by the captain, Colin Larkin. Here is Drew Gannon. He's got a great shot. Instead, it goes far side, and a great save made on Tyler Sifferlin. And that's the save you said Kenny Graham needed.
He needed that. If that goes in, he's probably done for the night. And I'll tell you what, he's a smart kid. He knew it, too, because he read the play. It was a 2-on-1, and nobody, I'm talking nobody, picked up Sifferlin. He was totally unattended, partial breakaway, received the pass, tried to go short side, and Graham was there with the answer. I'll tell you what, I'm a little frustrated if I'm Anthony Graham. His team is leaving him out to dry. I'm sorry, Kenny Graham. His team's leaving him out to dry right now. They're asking a lot of him, and that 2-on-1 was a big stop.
Yeah, right now, his defense, for lack of better words, they're killing Kenny. As this one is knocked back towards the point. Relax, guy. As here comes the Leopards over the red line. They jump it all the way in. Good save by D'Urso, protecting that crease. Drops it off, and now moving forward is UMass Boston, led by the Texas man, the native of Plano, Drew Gannon, as that one is intercepted and sent up into the rafters by Garrett Jean. 14:42 to go, first period of play. It's 3-1 Beacons here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Garrett Jean with the only goal for the Leopards.
John, let's go to that Wentworth goal here. Let's see if this was deflected. Really curious to see.
Don't like it.
It's something about that shot here. We're going to have time. No, they dropped the puck. We'll have to get it next whistle, but really curious. Let's see if we can get that up, Seth. If that puck was redirected or
I think it just went in.
You just see how, D'Urso waves at it. He saw it coming blocker side, but he sees the way he waved at it made me believe if it was a little bit screened or deflected, might have just missed it. But in any event, he's got a 2-goal cushion here now, and this Beacons team, man, they came out of the gates flying. 3-1 already.
Into the zone. Gallagher had some trouble with it, and luckily it is going to be a delayed offside as the Leopards got a little ahead of themselves, or else that might have been trouble. Wickline was helping out Garrett Gallagher on that play.
We didn't see a lot of this last year. You know, we mentioned the record and the up and down. I mean, the Beacons would win a game, lose a game, it felt like all year. We never really saw a game like this. This reminds me of the team, and I don't want to get, again, too far ahead of myself, but 2 years ago, where they would really come out and just put teams away early. A lot of goals, a lot of pressure, a lot of shots. We're seeing that here. It's very early yet, but we're seeing that here with this team.
There's a shot and a good save. D'Urso almost lost sight of it on the deflection. The initial shot coming from Adam Tracy, and coming on in to apply pressure was number 20, Sean Brennan. And so with 14:10 to go, good save from Anthony D'Urso, who, for really no fault of his own, is under a lot of pressure tonight. He gave up a tough goal early. There's 2 goalies behind him who are pretty good.
And you know that. Back of your head, I mean, most goalies, they go into game mode, and you try to bury that as much as you can, but you know deep in the back of your brain that if things get a little hairy, coach is going to have a quick trigger and put one of his other goaltenders. All 3 are capable.
In his own corner, taking it there. Holding on to it is Zach Bross. Goes D to D, far side. And now here's Colin Larkin, who's already got 2 points and a goal. Larkin will take a shot and a save. Rebounded front, and that one kicked out. Good clearance there by the Leopards. Boy, Colin Larkin, that snapshot of his is among the best at the D3 level for sure.
Yeah, I'd say any pre-existing injury he might have gained in training camp or in the preseason is gone. You saw there on that rush. And he had his head up the whole way. He was looking for an option, didn't have it, just fired it, and that was another good save by Graham. I think Graham looks good. You know, he's given up a few, right? He's already given up 3, which most people, if you just looked at the scoreboard, would assume he's not having a good night. But I'll tell you what, the last 2 saves have been quality stops.
There's a blast from the point. Screen, D'Urso, they score! And an offensive onslaught that we did not expect, as the goal is scored by Connor Bush, a sophomore from Lake in the Hills, Illinois. And for Connor, that is his first collegiate goal.
Oh, good for the kid. Always good to get the first collegiate goal, and especially on the first night. A lot of guys have to wait a few games, but I said it about Wentworth. I'm going to say it about Beacons. You see, and I know what Coach Blyle, he's asking his new assistant, Corey Schneider, no, not the guy from New Jersey. He played at Ohio State. He's asking him, how'd that go in? It was a great shot, Coach. From the blue line, went under the bar, and we've got 2 goalies in the hot seat now.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is that D'Urso's struggling with those shots from the point. That one at least had a screener in front. The first one did not, as the Beacons will try to get back up by 2. It is 5 goals in the first 6 minutes and 40 seconds of this game, as this one is taken and moved into the attacking zone by the Leopards, who have all of a sudden found their stride. As there's a big hit, as taking the lumber there was Dakota Keene on a hit by Brennan. This one sent all the way in, chasing after it Santa Pass, careening around the corner boards, and to the point where it's blasted through the net mouth on a play made by McGregor. Santa Pass will put all of his 6-foot 5-inch frame into the defender there. But here come the Leopards as they dump it in and chase. With possession deep, it's Gordon Bedeau as he sends this one, and it's intercepted, deflected by Santa Pass. He'll chase after it. Garrett Jean is back. Santa Pass tumbles over Jean. And this one coming back the other way with possession. Georgi Gorodetsky, and the native of Russia, sends this one wide. Gannon lassos that one off of the sideboards, and now the Beacons with numbers the other way perhaps. Coming on in, here's Riley with a shot, and that one swatted away by the stick of the netminder, and then it comes right to Gannon. What a save made by Kenny Graham as he flashes the weather on number 7, Drew Gannon.
Well, you see 13, Jack Riley, and that's a freshman for you. Took too long, had the angle, and he made one extra stick handle. That's just enough time. That, the speed of the game is something that these players need to adjust to when they make that jump from junior to college, and you saw it there. The freshman coming down the wing, a little too much stick handling. Defense got to stop on it, but there's Gano, another good save by Graham. Gano got the rebound there, John, and I know, I see him look upward. You'd love to see that go in for the kid. He had a tough year scoring goals last year. I think he just needs a little confidence, but Graham with another good stop. And I'll tell you what, I bet you he took a deep breath, because I'll tell you, this Graham kid has made some really good stops since he gave up that third goal, and now a 3-2 game. I'm going to take him off the hot seat. I think he's okay. I think he's all right. I'm going to take him off the hot seat for a little while.
The 6'2", 195-pound left-handed netminder. He is an alumnus of the Boston Bandits of the EHL, as that one is to the point with a blast there. That one deflected off the initial shot from Wickline as that one heads into the netting. Beacons now tilted the ice over the last minute or so, and it's good to see that third and fourth lines, the bottom 6 coming on out.
Yep, so, 11:54 here. Everyone's had a shift or two at this point. You assume that a lot of those butterflies are gone. A lot of that energy's been expended now. We saw, a blistering pace. I would expect it to simmer down a little bit, but I think the Beacons like the way this game has started. This plays right into their hand. Wentworth now has done a great job of kind of countering that. They've had a few good shifts, but this is definitely, they want to bring that tempo down even a little bit more if they can.
Big hit into the boards there as laying the lumber was number 21, Justin Holiday, native of Akron, Ohio, LeBron James' hometown, as that one is a hand pass on UMass Boston, and so a face-off from neutral ice.
And I like what I see here. And you got two kids, 2 transfers. You got Albano talking to the goalie D'Urso here down the Beacons end, and I guarantee you that was some sort of communication. I don't think that had anything to do with, hey, man, are you all right? I think he's asking him, hey, are you seeing it? Are you getting good read on it? Because we've had 2 goals from kind of the same area, and that's a good defenseman asking his goaltender. We talked about it. Communication, that's right what you want to see. Hey, make sure your goaltender's good. Is he seeing the puck? Chances are if he sees it, he's going to stop it.
There's a turnover at neutral ice, but having to go for a line change was Knackbauer in that yellow line. They dump it all the way in. Staying out there, Wickline to apply the forecheck, but now he'll head off as taking this one, number 20, Sean Brennan. Brennan out there defensively with Drew DiGeronimo as Brennan holds on. Now goes D to D, and that's an awkward pass, almost intercepted by Redler. Instead, coming up the other way and dumping it in is Angus Johnston, who tied for the team lead in points last year with McDonough with 13. Here come the Beacons the other way. Zach Bross, far side for Redler. Redler dumps it back. There's a blast, and that one deflected through the net mouth off the shot from Carter. And the Beacons trying to keep it in. They do for the moment, but it will get deflected out of the zone by Connor Bush.
It's a big hit there. Wow. Big hit.
Both goals scored so far by the defenders for Wentworth is right in front, a great play, and they score! Zach Bross, his first collegiate goal as the native of St. Louis welcomes the Beaconville faithful to Clark Athletic Center. It's 4-2 UMass Boston.
And the sophomore Redler grabbing the puck, his first goal, right on for the kid. And I love what he did here on this shift. He took a big hit. You heard me mention it. I didn't have a chance to get his name out there because all of a sudden the puck was going down the end. They were going to get a shot there, but he took a big hit on the blue line, activated the hit, and then got right back to his position, ended up getting the puck and burying it. Good on the kid, Nick, the freshman. And like I said, always good to get your first collegiate goal on the first night.
Boy, oh boy, 6 goals in the first 9.5 minutes of this game. We are on pace for, well, a record, I would think.
Cross game.
Yeah, seriously, and no joke about it, as this one is sent off of the end boards, taken in there by Bono. Bono harassed a little bit by the forecheck of Johnny Spada, but he's able to get it to Santapass, who sees a player careen in front of him, and now here's Dakota Keene getting around the D. Backhander in front, save made by Kenny Graham. There was an opening in the 5-hole, but unable to tuck it through.
Yeah, great move by Keene. Still active here. Here's Santapass.
Santapass got it poked away on a good play made by Bush, and this one eventually cleared as Santapass will chase after it. 9:50 to go, first period. On the Beacons Broadcasting Network, I'm John Scudras along with Matt Meisenbacher, is dumping this one in. Delayed offsides was UMass Boston as Suferdini sent it all the way deep. Meanwhile, coming back the other way now is Byron Carlisle. There's a chance for a shot there by Bodette that's denied by the right leg of D'Urso. And this one sent all the way down. This will be icing on UMass Boston.
And a good save by D'Urso. That's a tricky little save here. We're going to give you a replay here. Check out that last goal we had, and there he is. For his parents, I'm sure they're watching if they're not in the building. And back in St. Louis, there's a replay. First collegiate goal, and it's a special moment, not only for the player but for their families. They worked, sacrificed a lot. They spent a lot. Hockey's expensive, and always good. Always think of the mom and dad back home who hopefully get to see their son enjoy the broadcast with us.
Beacons coming back the other way. That one off the stick of the defender, still loose in front. Is unable to settle that down was Garrett Jean, as bearing down on him was Jack Riley. Chuckrin from his own zone, D-to-D feed. This one sent up to the blue line. Absorbing the hit there was Sifferlin. And now a chance for a shot from Gannon. That's blocked down. Good defensive effort made by Garrett Jean, as this one is moved back and dumped into the Beacon zone. Onside were the Leopards, as Gallagher swatted out of midair. But instead, here's a chance for Wentworth. A backhander in front. A good save as hugging the post was D'Urso on a shot there from McDonough. Beacons leading at 4-2, 8:42 to go, first period of play. This one dumped all the way in, as going for a partial line change are the Leopards. As in the corner, the Beacons fighting for it. Coming out with it was number 10, Connor Bodette. Bodette back to the point. There's a shot there that's sent wide of the net by DiGeronimo. And fighting for it and taking the hit right in the shoulder there was Riley. Tumbling down a bit was Chuckrin. Wide open chance on the spinorama shot there from Georgi Gorodetsky. As that one is wide. And no call. Looked like you might have seen a penalty. Instead, there's a blast from the point. Good block by Gannon as he got in front of that Sean Brennan blast.
Yeah, Beacons got away with one for sure, John. That was a slash.
Always good to get away with something. As here, Jack Riley. Nice toe drag to get around the defense, but he lost a bit of an edge and had to go for a line change.
And you're seeing it now a little bit more. The physicality's been here all night, but you're seeing it on both sides. You're really not afraid to, take a hit, make a play, and something that, I'm sure both coaches on both sides are liking to see. Anytime players are willing to sacrifice the body to advance the puck, always a good check plus on the scorecard from a coaching perspective.
Nick Albano, the only freshman on the blue line this evening, has possession of the puck as he intercepts it at the red line. He's thinking of shooting. He does save. Rebound. They score! Daniel Knackbauer delivers his 4th career goal for the sophomore from Richland, Washington. And it's all Beacons all the time here in the first 13 minutes. It's 5-2 UMass Boston.
Let's see what they're doing. Are they going to take them? They're looking at the goalies, and yeah, we're going to get a goalie change. And I'm not surprised. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Graham, you can't. He's going to be pissed. I know he's going to be upset. You can't put this on yourself. He has had little to no help, and I don't see any forwards getting back. Not on the kid. He had some good saves tonight. I know he's going to probably be frustrated, but that is not on him. We're going to have a goalie change here.
And Matt, it's Ryan Hubbard, who's a senior, but he's just 5'9", 180, which is one of the smaller goalies I've seen at this level. From the far side, Colin Larkin. Larkin will dump it all the way in. It's blocked into the corner. Coming away with the backhand there was Bross. Bross gets it to Redler. Redler, great pass with the backhand in front, but Colin couldn't settle it down.
And this kid can play. He's from Plattsburgh, a storied program, but he's going to be tested here early.
Redler looking to test him for Larkin in front, deflection, still alive behind the netminder, but no Beacon was home to tuck it in. Here's a chance for Albano, deflected to Redler, a great save. Talk about coming through when it matters.
There we go.
And now here we go as Larkin was shoved in the crease after the save.
Yeah, you knew this was coming, and this is pent up frustration. Yeah, is that Redler lost his bucket. But you feel this coming, and what a first save there by Hubbard.
And we'll take a look at the replay of that last goal.
Yeah, let's bring that in here. I mean, there's not much. This is not on Graham. First save, leaves a little bit of a rebound there, and I'm sure he wants that rebound back. But he's thinking, geez, guys, can we not play 5-on-0 hockey here? I mean, we've seen most of the goals came off the rush. He had a tough night, and not the way you want to start your season. But this Hubbard kid, tough save off the go. And he had to come across. We're going to get some penalties here, John. What do we have?
Now, Nolan Redler had his helmet off. He was in that skirmish, but he's not heading to the sin bin.
I think because it got yanked off, so I think he gets a pass. I would hope. I don't think he would do that on his own. And we got somebody over, and I don't want to speculate. I haven't made out who it is, but someone's being attended to by the training staff on the Beacon side. And unfortunately, the jersey's off, so I don't have an idea of who the individual is. We'll have to decipher from who's missing on the bench or if the lines change at all. But there is someone being looked at. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But for right now, it'll be interesting. Let's see what the refs do. We've got 2 minors. Looks like there'll just be a couple match penalties here and should be skating 5 aside.
Some of the fans in the first row you saw a moment ago dressing up for the Halloween holiday, which is just in a couple of days.
Yeah, what do we got? We got a little Robin.
I think that's Hulk. Is that not
Hulk Hogan's there?
maybe?
Someone's got to play his entrance music. Tyler Boyd would be.
We got Mario.
Losing it right now.
Nonetheless, right now it's the referees who are doing the most work as we take a look at the fans at Clark Athletic Center. And folks, you want to have fun as well? Remember to tweet us at UMass Beacons.
That's right. We'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Do you like what John's saying? Do you like what I'm saying? Do you hate what we're saying? Did we miss anything?
We'll have a few of those, I'm sure.
There will be throughout the year, but we want to make this an interactive experience for our fans out there.
We're an equal opportunity network, love, hate, whatever you want.
All the above.
The assistant captain, Gabe Chukrin, is the one doing the talking with the referees, and I just hope that's not because Colin Larkin is the one who's injured.
Is that Colin Larkin?
He's the one who got hit in the net. I'm only assume so much, but I see Colin out there with the C, so that's not him.
I don't think it's Larkin. I can't decipher who that is, though. We'll have to send somebody down and get word of who's injured. We'll get that. We'll bring that to you as soon as we know.
Beacons win the face-off, keep it in. It is 5 aside, as this one is dumped all the way in. A couple of matching minors. Beacons lead at 5-2. Connor Bush is the one who's going for Wentworth, and Redler for UMass Boston. 2 players in the sin bin for each. Meanwhile, over the blue line were the Leopards as they're into the corner. With possession there was Johnny Spada. He turns it over, and now coming back the other way is David McGregor. McGregor connects with Dakota Keene, the native of Portland, Maine. Meanwhile, from far side, a quick deflection on a one-time blast from Santa Pass in front is wide.
This kid's quick. I think Hubbard got a piece of that. He moves laterally real nice.
Ryan Hubbard seeing Dakota Keene find McGregor, who is denied with the right leg of Ryan Hubbard. So the Beacons applying the pressure here 5-on-5, and now moving forward with it the other way is Tim Shea. Shea is all alone, going around the defender. That is Brian Carter. Shea fighting for it with Carter, got his pocket pick. It's kept in, and a shot there is wide on the short side from Brennan. A little bit of contact there as the Beacons get control, and Garrison Santa Pass sends the defender to the ice. That was Byron Carlisle at 5'10", colliding with the 6'5" Santa Pass, and Santa Pass won the battle.
Oh, did he ever? There's another hit. My goodness, Santa Pass. He is as strong, naturally built, and you saw it there, just stood tall like nothing hit him.
The native of Northbrook, Illinois, as this one is dumped all the way in, knocked down by Hubbard as he settles things down for DiGeronimo. DiGeronimo goes D-to-D for Brennan, and the Stony Point native dumps this one towards the red line to be taken in by Carter. Carter, bad turnover in front of chance, great save by D'Urso as he stayed right there with the attacking forward. I believe that was Matthew Kennedy.
Great stop, good stop there by D'Urso.
Meanwhile, here's a chance for Jack Riley, the freshman, on a good poke check from Brennan, lost control. Gannon back to the point. Chucker couldn't settle it down, and here's a breakaway. A breakaway for Matt Kennedy, with a great play on the rebound there by Gabe Chukrin.
What a recovery. Beacon's coming down the other end.
Ooh, and that one sails just wide to the short side on a blast made there that just got through the webbing of the netminder Hubbard. And that shot coming from Dante Suffredini. from mid-ice. That one knocked down. UMass Boston leading 5-2. Bad turnover again, but Chukrin was back yet again to prevent a breakaway as Georgi Gorodetsky has possession. Georgi showing those Russian dangles as that one is knocked down in front, back to the point, sends it far side, careening onto the corner, taken in there by number 19, Matt Kennedy, but he does turn it over as he tried to get it back to the point, and coming forward with it is Holiday. Holiday's shot, that one knocked down in front, save Raid as the rebound came towards the stick of number 16, Cody Wickline. That shot from a bad angle is blocked down in front into the corner, where it is eventually sent by Holiday towards the net and taken in by the Leopards. Good forecheck right now, Matt, by the Beacons.
And there's another turnover.
And another turnover, Gorodetsky. Then he just saw Garrett Gallagher coming and just gave up on it.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Might have lost the puck, but 2 turnovers there on Chukrin. I know not his game. Those will probably be his only 2 of the night.
As this is a pass across the net mouth, that deflected wide. There's another high-rising shot as that one came off the stick of Adam Tracy. It's a shoulder injury as that one's gloved down and denied by D'Urso. They're saying a shoulder injury, and it's the freshman Nick Albano. So the freshman defender, the youngest defender on the blue line tonight. So the Beacons, at least for the time being, will be playing with 5 blue liners.
Yeah, it's the risky run. You know, the physical presence he brings to the table, and obviously takes a toll on you. You hope it's he's putting the equipment back on. Hopefully just a stinger. A lot of times you can get that shoulder jammed a little bit and loosens up. You're ready to play. It looks like he might be coming back out.
So we'll see if Albano does come back out and if he plays the rest of the day. Meanwhile, bad turnover and then a bad play made by the Leopards as Adam Lane collided there with Adam Tracy as a couple of Adams not able to gel as this one is gobbled up by Hubbard. We'll get a whistle with 2:49 to go.
Yeah, and the Beacons are just beating them with their speed right now. You're seeing it particularly in the neutral zone, and once they have that speed coming through the neutral zone, it's translating towards odd man rush into the O-zone. Now, the one area that we've seen a little bit lacking, surprisingly, is in the defensive side of the puck. We've seen some turnovers, and there's a great shot blocked in front, but we've seen some turnovers from the Beacons. Uncanny by this D-corps.
And that shot came from Zach Bross, who was looking for his second collegiate goal in his first collegiate period. 2:34 to go in that period as this one is dumped off the end boards. D to D from Carter to Bono. So now Brian Carter, it appears, is doubling up defensively.
Yep, and it looks like Albano will be coming back, so he's got his helmet on at least. At least he's rejoined the bench. We'll have to see when he gets his next shift.
Might not be till the next period. Just 134 seconds to go in this one as from the corner. It's knocked down by Johnny Spada. Spada swings this one all the way down the ice. No icing. This one dies. A chance to set up in front, but a good deflection on a play made by Suferdini. As Colin Larkin cannot get it out of the zone in his first attempt, it's dumped deeper into the corner. Fighting for that one is Brendan Lloyd. And the former EHL star sees this one knocked around the end boards by Johnny Spada. Beacons now can clear, and that's clearly icing.
Yep.
As this one is sent all the way in by Wickline. And with 1:43 to go, it's a 5-2 UMass Boston lead.
An opportunity here for Wentworth, and you see they're going to take. You can't talk to your coaching staff, but I like the attempt by the forwards. They're tired. You got Larkin and Redler with their hands on their knees, and this is a big opportunity for Wentworth. They could sneak one in here. They win the draw.
Top line out for Wentworth as that one got through a couple of legs on a blast from the point by Garrett Jean, who was looking for his second goal of the period. That one swung around by Gorodetsky. It did not get all the way down, and instead it's sent up into the rafters, and we will get a whistle with 92 seconds to go.
You know, that's the risky run. You ice the puck, and especially at the end of a shift, really more oftentimes than not, as Albano is going to head to the locker room. You called it, John. He looks to be trying to come back, but he is going to head to the locker room for the remainder of the period. But at the end of the shift, you know, you lose that draw, and it's almost a guaranteed scoring opportunity for the team on the other end of it. And you saw there a good save by D'Urso.
Good forecheck by Riley, gets it to Gannon, and close offsides call. They do call the Beacons offsides with 81 seconds to go, as offsides, I believe, on that one was Jack Riley. Yeah, and you said it. I mean, we're already into our second goalie. Ryan Hubbard's looked very good since coming in.
Yep.
Kenny Graham really struggled early on. Now, this Wentworth squad, they do play tomorrow at home against Castleton, so we'll see what they decide to do after this. They do have another goalie, Griffin Cady, on the roster.
Yeah, you know, I'll touch on it in a minute here, but, you know, it's amazing what happens when you do change that goalie. Just the mentality of the people on the bench, the players. You know, when that goalie gets the can, it does something to you. You feel like you owe it to your teammate to play better, and a lot of times the second goalie coming in can be the beneficiary of that.
Yeah, and you see all the time as this is bouncing around in the attacking zone for UMass Boston, eventually knocked to neutral ice. Great pass from Gannon. He connects with Riley, and a short side blast is high and wide, as that one is into the end boards, where Riley will fight with a couple of Leopards for it. Gannon coming in to help out, but it is deflected and cleared into the glove of Chukrin. D-to-D feed backhand to Gallagher. Garrett will dump it in. Beacon's going for a forward line change. Only one out there is Sifferlin. Unable to clear it was Hubbard, and that's a bad turnover with just 30 seconds left, as there's a shot from Nackbauer from the short side angle, deflected and wide of the net on a save by Hubbard. Gallagher whiffed on the chance to careen it off the end boards, and he is able to keep it in, as the Beacons keep it in not once but twice and almost 3 times, but able to clear it there was Sean Brennan.
Time for one more rush here if you can get it up.
10 seconds to go, as that's no offsides, and now the Beacons with an opportunity. Holiday, a backhander for Nackbauer, but was unable to connect with Daniel, and instead coming the other way and losing an edge there was number 17, Byron Carlisle. Beacons get possession, and that will do it for the first 20 minutes of play. So we saw an abundance of goals in the first 20 minutes, most of them coming in the first 5.
Could have been a final score.
Absolutely. I mean, that's higher than a lot of final scores we've seen here on Beaconville. Right now, after 20 minutes, it is 5-2, and Matt, tough start for Kenny Graham, the netminder, but you can't put it all on Kenny. The Beacons were absolutely outstanding. First with a power play goal, then with 4 even strength goals. What'd you like from the Beacons in the first period?
I'll tell you what, both teams came out firing, and kudos. I mean, that nervous energy translated to, a positive output, but we saw the Beacons. I mean, this is something that, fans who may have been with us for years now have seen. They can score, and they score with speed, they score in the rush, and we saw a lot of that here tonight. Majority of their goals were generated either right off the rush or off a rebound off the rush. So really nothing new on their end. Now Wentworth, on the other hand, got a couple goals here. It was a 3-2 game at one point and really could have gone either way. Beacons found a way to put some pucks in late. I think obviously the tempo will probably see a little bit of a step back. We knew that we were going to have a fast-paced first period. And both, as you mentioned, Graham's gone. So we've got this new kid now for Wentworth. I think Durso really saved himself there, had some good saves. He was on the hot seat for a little while. Did I take him off? I think I got to take him off.
Yeah.
All right, I took him off. But he played well. He had some good saves. I wouldn't be surprised now if Blyle tells this team to keep the pace up. They seem to be really dominating Wentworth. Wentworth doesn't seem to be able to match their speed. We're seeing people blow by them in the neutral zone we talked about. But that's going to be a key for UMass. From a Wentworth perspective, you're not really totally out of it. You absolutely need the next one. But you've proven that you can score on this kid. So you put two goals in the first period, not the worst case scenario in the world. So you're trying to tell your team, hey, listen, we know how to score on this guy, and we got to find ways to solid our D-core up a little bit, but continue to generate opportunities.
And you mentioned it in the latter portions of the first period. That goal change really seemed to have inspired Wentworth a little bit, the players in front of the netminder. And you see that a lot, not just at this level, but even in the NHL, in the playoffs, you often see. I remember when Ilya Brizgalov was the Flyers goalie, one playoff run, they pulled him like 4 out of 5 games in a series, and they won that series because the backup came in and played outstanding. The players in front of him stepped up. What is that about? Do you think it's just a mental thing? Like, the goalie got pulled, I better start playing or else my backside is going to get pulled.
It's really, it's a strange, it'd be interesting to know the psychology behind it. I don't think anyone has truly figured it out. I mean, portion of it is that, like I mentioned, you feel bad, it's your teammate. You got guys pulling for you, and he's wearing the same colors as you. You just want to do better for him, and you get a little angry. I think the second part of it is it's a little bit like a timeout. It's a way to generate. You only get one in hockey, so it's a way to kind of simmer your team down, let things kind of calm, and allow your team to say, hey, listen, we got to get going here. We're losing the grip on the game. So we saw that, and the key there, John, is the goalie who comes in has to make that save. If he gives up, in the first 2 or 3 shots, if he gives one up, any of that momentum you built just dissipates. So you saw that there with Hubbard. He had some good saves. His first save was tricky. He was coming across the crease. But we saw that. I think Wentworth, again, still alive, probably needs the next goal in order to really make this thing a game, though.
Absolutely. Ryan Hubbard, 9 shots, 9 saves since coming in for Kenny Graham in the first period. The Beacons outshot Wentworth 26-14. They lead it 5-2 after 1 here on the BBN. Right now we're going to go to Peter Belisle, our head coach, previewing the weekend that is coming up. This game as well as tomorrow afternoon's affair against Curry College. That's up next right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Coach, we'll start off with last week. What were you able to take away from the EHL All-Star game, and how did that prep you guys in a different way maybe than having scrimmaged yourselves like you had done for so many years prior to this season?
I thought it was great. We had a chance to play somebody different and other than practicing against ourselves, and those kids were pretty skilled. I think we should have outmuscled them, and we were stronger than them, just the age factor. But it was a good hockey game, so we had a chance to play everyone and just get a look at everybody and be in a game atmosphere that was, there was something on the line. You wanted to win that game, and it was tight there at the end. So I think there was a lot of good things to pull from it.
Last year, you guys really struggled to build momentum from game to game. This year, you open with two teams that on paper you should be better than. How does this weekend potentially set you up to gain some early momentum, some early confidence before you head into conference play and face one of the top teams in the country next weekend?
Well, this is a tough team. They've got 2 transfers from Arizona State, so it's going to be a tough game tonight, and it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. We haven't even figured out our identity yet, and that's going to develop. We have to find our identity and what type of team we are, and I think we're going to find out this weekend, and hopefully we can carry a good weekend into league play the following weekend. But it starts with one game at a time, and as much as we like to think, fly our flag for our league, and I think our league is very good, I'm sure they feel the same way about their league. So it's going to be, I expect a very good hockey game tonight, and hopefully we can be resilient and stick together and come out on top.
You're going with the junior transfer, Anthony D'Urso, in net tonight. What has he shown to earn the starting spot on opening night?
Yeah, he's been excellent. I thought he faced the toughest period in our scrimmage game. He came in third, cold in the third period with no warm-up, and probably didn't really see too many chances until, late in the game when we were down on 2 5-on-3s. I thought he was excellent, and he was the reason why we held on to a win. So, building off of that kind of momentum, we're going with him tonight. We've got 3 capable goaltenders, but we're going to give the nod to him.
So there you have it. Coach Belisle previewing the weekend that is ahead. The Beacons will be on the BBN tomorrow. Women's hockey beginning just before 1 o'clock. The men's game beginning just before 4 p.m. Let's take a look at the first period intermission statistics here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network intermission report.
There's a lot of them.
There certainly are. 26 shots by the Beacons. 5 of them snuck through. All of those on the starter, Kenny Graham, who made 12 saves on 17 shots. The face-offs were pretty even, 16-13. The Beacons win that category, and the Beacons did score very early in the game on their only power play. One thing you do see there, it was a Leopards team that really struggled on the power play last year, but they have not gotten an opportunity, so the Beacons playing well disciplined through 20 minutes.
Beacons on pace for what is that? 26 times 3, 78 total shots, right? Is that, am I on there? Did I just nail that? Jeez, that's impressive. Over-under, you think? Over-under for shots, 78 total. Got to take the under there, right? Gigi, what do you think? That's got to be under.
They had over 70 shots last week against the HL.
So there you go. They're on pace. We'll probably take the under there. But, a team like this, and again, it just rings true to the type of program that's been built here. It's all on the offensive side, and they cover themselves nicely in the D zone. They backstop it with a solid D core and with good goaltending. But they are not afraid to shoot the puck, and they move with speed. You see it here in some of these statistics, and doing well in the faceoff category. That's the other thing too, is that's an area they need. Usually when they win the faceoff circle, they win the hockey game. You see here a slight edge over Wentworth. So doing well, good first period. Part of the pregame was playing a full 60 though, so they still got 2 periods to go.
The Beacons did have some penalties, but it was part of that scrum where Nolan Redler and Connor Bush both got roughing minors, so nothing showing up on the power play margin. Let's take a look around Beaconville and see how the Beacons' fellow classmates are doing. There it is right there. Skidmore ahead of volleyball 1-0 in the second set. Volleyball, the champions of the regular season in the LEC. Women's hockey will host St. Anselm. That will be right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Coverage getting underway about 12:45 as the Hawks take on the Beacons. Women's soccer will play host to Western Connecticut State on Saturday at 1 p.m. That also will be on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And men's soccer is at WestCon for a big matchup there Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Let's take a look now at the NEHC scoreboard. As we take a look around the NEHC, Matt, Elmira, and Hobart tied at 0-0, end of one. Also, goose eggs between NEC and Fitchburg State after one. In the first period, Salve Regina, an early 1-0 lead on the Norwich Cadets. A bit of a surprise.
A little bit, but that Salve team has a lot of D1 transfers. So they might be gelling. I mean, obviously 1-0, and they're in Norwich. I would be surprised if they won this game, but don't be surprised if that's a close score at the end of the night.
1-0 Skidmore College leading Nichols College, and UNE as the Nor'easters are crushing Southern Maine after one. It's 3-0 from Southern Maine. Let's take a look at the highlights now, that first period, here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network Intermission Report. Matt, the Beacons got the first goal, but it was not the only goal.
Came out strong, and you're going to see here right out of the gate, started the season off real nice. Shot from the point, redirected, and buried there, Redler with the goal. And as you can see there, off the power play,
off the rebound, and who else
started off the Beacons with a 1-0 lead, and Wentworth came right back. And again, I'm still not convinced that wasn't deflected or screened somehow, just by the way Durso reacted at it. But that tied the game as 1-1. That was answered. That goal came about 50 seconds after the original, and then Beacons answered right back. It's like a boxing match, just trading blows here. That puck was laying out in front, and that was, I believe, Wickline scored that second goal there in front, and we had a little bit of scrum after. 2-1 Beacons, with 16:35 left to play in the first, and then they would tack on another one here. And this is just a great, look at the release. There's not much room there, folks, especially you're expecting a pass. 99% of guys would pass there, but with a release of Larkin, that's, Larkin there releasing that puck, he's going to shoot it and he's going to score. And so that was Durso's first stop. That was good, got him kind of settled in the net, but unfortunately for him, they would come back, and another goal, kind of the same area there, John. That top of the circle, and we saw Albano came not that long after, came over, talked to Durso, said, "Hey, are you seeing the puck?" But that made it 3-2. This is really where the Beacons broke it open. That was a great stop. Graham made a few saves here, and it was 3-2 for a while. I thought we were going to have a pretty close first period, but you saw here Beacons ended up, and that was Gross's first collegiate goal there, and that made it 4-2 Beacons, and then they really dominated here the rest of the period. For the final 10, it was all Beacons. I mean, Wentworth put a couple shifts together. Graham with another save there. He really battled through and was really trying to hold down the fort as best he could, but it was just too much, and then this one put Graham away. It was a rebound goal off a rush. It was a 3-on-2 shot from the point, and that one ended up going home. That was Knockbauer, his first. And that made it 5-2 Beaks, and then Durso with a great save here on a mini rush was able to get the pad out and make the stop. So that's where we left things, 5-2. You saw there, pretty close, and then that 10-minute mark, the Beacons really took over and ended up burying a few more. That made it 5-2. We'll see what we get here in the second.
Goals for the Beacons by Nolan Redler, Cody Wickline, Colin Larkin, Zach Bross, and Daniel Knockbauer. Goals for the Leopards by Garrett Jean and Connor Bush. All of them the first goals of the season for those respective players. And Matt, 7 different Beacons had multiple shots on goal, including 4 from our player to watch, Nolan Redler, and you're pointing out there all the assist numbers as well.
And nobody with a second. Everyone with a single assist, which is kind of interesting. A lot of times you'll see somebody out there with at least his second assist of the night, but I went to see, who's got a couple assists tonight. Everybody's got one. We got a bunch of guys at 1 assist. So, yeah, you mentioned, and, the other curious thing, too, here is, the Albano injury. And we don't know the severity. We're trying to still get a report. We saw him spending some time with the training staff there, and he got his helmet back on, got his jersey back on. We don't know. He didn't play a secondary shift thereafter. So we don't know if he's going to be eligible here for the second period. We'll look for that when they enter the ice here. I'll be looking for 5 to see if he does a couple laps, but he spent a lot of time with the training staff. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
And Albano did have the secondary assist on that debut goal.
He did, and a few hits.
Yep.
And a few hits, which is big. There seems to be a physical presence tonight. So tough to lose a guy that's not afraid to throw his weight around, but we'll have to keep an eye on the injury.
You look ahead there to what's coming up on the Beacons Broadcasting Network tomorrow afternoon. Matt and I will be right here for the women's broadcast at 1, followed by the Second half of the doubleheader over the weekend for the men against Curry College. That one getting underway, coverage around 3:45, 3:40. And the Beacons will be heading onto the road, taking on those Norwich Cadets like we mentioned. Interesting to see how the Beacons fare against NEHC competition early on.
Oh, man, that Norwich Arena, Kreitzberg, is as close as a lot of these players are going to come to a pro game. It's a full bowl. They pack house. They have all the amenities, the goal horn. They do everything you would expect at a Division I or at a pro level. It's a great place to play. But you talk about home ice advantage. Norwich has home ice advantage, man. It's an intimidating place.
We'll see if the Beacons are intimidated or not on Tuesday when they take on Norwich. They'll also be facing Castleton to round out the next week's worth of affairs. We are just about set for the second period of play. The Beacons are about to make their way back onto the ice. The Leopards shortly thereafter. And for UMass Boston, Matt, the keys to the second period, I think you hinted at it, keep the pedal to the metal.
It really is what this team is built on. That's when they have the most success, is when they're transitioning the puck well. Surprisingly, this early in the season, a lot of times I expected myself to be talking about, a little bit of the rust, the lack of chemistry, the passing hasn't looked that great. I can't make that claim. I think I've seen a lot of good passes. I've seen players connecting and finding the soft spots on the ice. Now, granted, I think UMass should be doing that. They're a faster team on paper than Wentworth, but I've been somewhat pleasantly surprised at kind of the natural ability, the natural chemistry of some of these players we've seen here tonight, and they've been able to translate a lot of that into goals, putting up 5 already.
Good news for the Beacons. Nick Albano, he's out there skating, and probably, from the looks of it, might start the ice in the second. Actually, he's going to head to the bench, but good news is Nick Albano is out there and he looks healthy.
Yeah, he looks healthy. Looks like he's going to play, and my guess, again, you never want to speculate on injuries, but, probably a shoulder stinger, jammed up. Could be, something on his ribs, but obviously not severe enough where he can't play. So he'll be lacing him up, and good to see. Never want to see an injury, especially this early in the season.
And Steve Witkowski is one of those cast of characters dressed up for this afternoon's game. Steve, of course, does some sideline reporting for us on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Having fun on his day off, as the Beacons are looking to have some fun on a work day, but this face-off is won by Adam Lane deep into the zone. Hubbard is still out there for the visiting Leopards as he gets it to his defensive teammate Sean Brennan. Brennan siphons this one forward for Tracy, as fighting for it now is Angus Johnston. Beacons leading at 5-2, just underway here in the second period of play of the 2017-18 season opener. As here's Adam Tracy coming up over the blue line, tried to backhand it towards Lane. It's intercepted, and it's a shot, a great save on the blast from Johnson as it's waffle boarded away by D'Urso.
Tough first save right out of the locker room. Already had to come up with one.
Redler looking to siphon this one towards Larkin. It got through the net mouth and all the way into the corner, keeping it in is Chukrin for the moment. There's a nice one-touch pass, and motoring the other way is Angus Johnston. Johnston, nice pass, D, a great shot, a great save by the netminder D'Urso as he moved laterally beautifully to deny Drew DiGeronimo.
Yeah, and Gallagher got caught. He got caught, and Chukrin was back on the 2-on-1. And, you saw their forwards trying to get back, just didn't have enough speed, too much gap to close. And a great save by D'Urso. I'll tell you what, those 2-on-1s, you're really trusting that you can get over there in time because you can only keep track of that secondary guy or the corner guy. Got to give respect to the puck carrier. Good stop there by D'Urso.
D'Urso's been really good from short range. The 2 goals he gave up were blasts from the point. As this one is taken in by Santa Pass, moved over the red line, tried to dump it in, but a good defensive play made by Connor Bush, who does have a goal today. Bush then missed on the reception on a feed from McDonough. Bush now tried to go D to D, instead he just sent it right into the legs of Dakota Keene. McGregor fighting for it with Keene. It pops right to the point. Here's a chance on a blast. It's deflected and knocked down on the shot from Carter. But good play by who else? Nick Albano coming back from that shoulder injury to deny a chance at an odd man rush.
And good to see he kept the shift short. Made a nice play, got off the ice. That's what you want to do. Just make sure you're still capable of doing everything necessary to play D.
Santa Pass from a tough angle. That one off the side of that. Tried to careen it towards the point. Instead, it's intercepted by Matt Kennedy. Kennedy dumps it towards Georgi Gorodetsky, who's fighting with Bono for it. Instead, it's sent towards the near side dot. Instead, far side chance. High rising shot on a blast there from Tracy. That one wide. From the near side corner, it's sent far side for Gorodetsky. Georgi Gorodetsky sends this one wide. It careens to the point. Deflection in front. A good save by D'Urso on a deflection from Brendan Lloyd. So right now, early on here in the second, we're seeing a bit more pressure being applied by the Leopards. as this one is in the near side circle. Santa Pass sends another Leopard to the ice.
Could have, I don't want to say got away with one, but had it been called, I wouldn't have been too surprised. And you know what? The other thing, we mentioned a lot of times when we hear a lot of whistles, John, how annoying it is when, refs really call it by the book, and I got to give them credit. They've let the guys play tonight. It's really, we've only had one whistle so far. It might be a couple more, but the way they're letting this game fly, you're seeing a lot more speed tonight, and I think that's where we want the game to be.
Getting over the blue line and into the attacking zone is Sifferlin, as he's somehow able to get around the defender. Nice backhanded look in front. Here's Jack Riley's shot, waffle boarded away by the netminder Ryan Hubbard. Behind the net, here's Sifferlin. Beacons up by 3. 3 minutes into the second period. Winding his way through the D, there was Riley. It's deflected off the near side boards. Keeping it in is Sifferlin. Sifferlin lets this one go back to the point. Chukrin fakes the blast, gets the D on its heels, comes in from the near side circle. That one was blocked and cleared. And having to help out is going to be Garrett Gallagher, as he will get things, and the Leopards will go for a change. This one is a nice pass forward for Tyler Sifferlin. One-on-one, he takes a shot, and getting a piece of that one was Hubbard as he sends it wide with the glove.
I was looking for a Brett Mason call, seeing that 11 jersey.
I know, it's tough. Mason and Bishop, I keep wanting to say, with 11 and 21. Instead, it is Sifferlin and Holiday. Is getting pounded into the boards there was Tyler Sifferlin, and we will get
announcer's curse
penalty, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure who this is on. I think it might be on Wentworth, John. The reaction,
I think it's on the man who ended up on the ice.
Yeah, initially I thought it was going to be a Sifferlin, and it was going to be a Beacons penalty, but I'll tell you what, it is a Wentworth penalty, and Gene is going to go. He has the goal earlier tonight, the first Beacons goal, but he's going to sit for a couple, and I didn't see the call. I think he called a slash there. Didn't see it. Did not see it, but anyway, Beacons are going to be on the power play here, 5-2, and a chance to really, any momentum. Wentworth has come out strong here. You can really dismantle a lot of that with a goal here.
Far side Larkin takes it in the far side dot. He's got Albano, almost lost it on his own recognition there. There's a blast, a good save by Hubbard, and that one deflected up and into the netting with 1:47 to go in the minor for slashing.
And I like the communication. Second time tonight, this Albano kid, not afraid to talk out there. He went over to Larkin, say, hey, where do you want me? What do you want to run here? How are we going to run the point? Both players capable of, kind of quarterbacking the power play. Good to see.
Face-off won by the Beacons, but they do turn it over. Larkin knocks it down at the red line, connects with Bross. Zach does have a goal today, his first collegiate goal, as the St. Louis, Missouri native tumbles down on a check there, and he turns it over. Moving forward with it now is Connor Beaudet. Beaudet on the penalty kill dumps it into Chase. Coming on over is the aforementioned defender Albano. He dumps it back for Larkin. 1:22 to go in the 2-minute minor. 15:40 to go in the second period. Larkin taking it end-to-end himself, why not? As he's able to get it into the end boards and then takes it right on away from Ethan Weiss before giving it up, but the Beacons are able to keep it in. Albano sends it off the sideboard, taken in by Redler. Redler trying to go in front for Santa Pass. There was a collision. Some of the visiting Leopards wanted a call. Instead, there's a blast from a tough angle, short-handed by Brendan Lloyd that's gobbled up by D'Urso. And Matt, harkening back to what we were talking about before that last penalty, referees kind of holding the whistles. I don't know if you remember, but we did the debut last year, and there was a point of emphasis to make it very, I don't want to say chippy, but a lot of close calls. Yeah. And it was penalty after penalty, and we hated it.
Do I remember? It was a lot better. Oh, my God, do I remember? Yeah, there was nothing to analyze. Yeah. It was just power play after power play. I mean, it really, and you know what, John, I understand it. They want to change the game, and they want to make it safer, and they want to make it faster and just better. I understand all that, but I think there's a certain element of letting the guys play. And certain things you have to call, but there's a lot of iffy stuff. Good save there by Hubbard on a blast by Chukrin. But, there's a lot of that 50-50 stuff that I think refs can make the deciding call. Are we going to call that tonight, or are we going to let that stuff go? And I always err on the side of let it go. Let these players play.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think you see that at every level when they institute new rules or put a point of emphasis in. I know after the lockout, the first lockout, or I guess you call it the second lockout, back in 2005, a lot of clutch and grabbing that they used to do was no longer allowed. Right. Holding penalties were robust. And then even this year, a lot of emphasis on slashing penalties in the NHL.
Yep, exactly.
So the Beacons still on the power play for 27 seconds. Chukrin comes near side for Gannon. Drew fakes the shot, dumps it behind the net. Back to the point now from Bross, and now Bross gathers to McGregor, McGregor sends that one right into the legs of Liam McKay, and then eventually it's going to be cleared and moved forward by Johnston. Johnston dumps it off the sideboards. Adam Lane will get there first in front of Carter. Lane backhanded for Johnston, and then it's Kareens around. So the first successful kill of the evening for the Leopards. The Beacons followed a 1 for 2 on the power play. Sifferlin got crushed into the boards, and offsides is the call. And a penalty, I believe, is also going to be the call.
Yeah, I saw I saw both hands go up, John. I wasn't sure, wait, are they calling offsides? Are they calling a penalty here? But it is indeed going to be a penalty. It's going to be Wentworth's third. Beacons, Wentworth just killed one, and that's unfortunate. They did a great job, and Ethan Weiss is going to go sit, the junior out of Troy, Michigan. He's going to sit for 2, again on a slash. So Beacons go right back on the power play. It'll be the third of the night. And Coach Blyle deciding to send the first unit out there. It'll be Redler, Santa Pass. And you know what? Actually, this is a new look here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That is Larkin. So they got Larkin and Albano on the back end.
Albano will get to it from the blue line, as you said. He will think about shooting, takes it, and Hubbard never saw it, but that one sails high and wide. From the far side, Redler thinking of passing to the point, but good defense being applied by Johnson with that stick. From the near side, Bross backhanded, trying to go top shelf, short side, could not, and then a second chance from Santa Pass was blocked down in front. Larkin using that body to shield off Johnston, and into the corner, another collision, no call this time as Santa Pass went down. Bross's pass across the ice was deflected, and Santa Pass almost sent it out of the zone. Good play by Larkin. 80 seconds to go on the 2-minute minor, as this one is sent far side for the defenseman back to Larkin. There's a shot wide as he tried to go near side post. Here's Bross. Bross for Albano. And the spot where Tyler Bishop used to be, Peter Bilal trusting his freshman. Larkin now far side shot blocked down in front, and this one will be cleared on a play made by Adam Lane.
I like this Bross kid. I'll tell you what, he's finding the soft spots. The only thing I would have changed there on that shot by Larkin, Larkin's going to try to release, crash that net. That rebound was just out of his reach. Had he been there, that would have been an easy tap-in for him. He'll learn that as the season goes on, but I like the way he's played so far. Good shot and a good save there by Hubbard. That was Gannon.
Yeah, that one almost handcuffed Ryan Hubbard in net, but he made the good save, and so far so good for Hubbard. Came in probably almost exactly 20 minutes ago, and he has yet to relinquish a goal.
No, it looks good, and I think the one that he might have not been able to see, I think he actually tried to head that. He jumped up a little bit, might have pulled a Henrik Lundqvist, tried to make sure that puck didn't go in with his head, which is that new technique I was never accustomed to, but if it works, more power to you.
Well, you're only 5'9" in net. Sometimes you have to do that, as this one sent far side. Big shot from Chukrin, but another good save by Hubbard with 25 seconds left in the 2-minute minor to Weiss.
And you've seen, that trend, John, the larger goaltenders, taking up more space, the Ben Bishops, Carey Price, and some of these massive goalies, Pecorine. These little guys can still find a way to keep themselves in the mix, and they do it by moving very well laterally and staying very compact. They don't give up a lot of rebounds. What they give away on kind of the extremities, they move, and they move so well laterally, they can make up for it.
Chance for Gannon from the far side circle. Nice pass, looking like
a 5-on-3.
He was blasting with a bull there as Beacons now have a 5. Still 5-on-4.
Without a stick, though.
Now we're going to have a 5-on-3 because a penalty coming on up. As this is a blast from the point. Oh, a great block on a play made by number 21. That was Tim Shea Jr.
Tim Shea, I'll tell you what, he took a full slap shot there in the gut, and I hope he's all right. He's the one. The reason I said 5-on-3, he broke his stick. So the Beacons essentially, how about this? We'll compromise. We'll call it a 3.5.
I agree with you. I didn't even see the stick, and now I believe we're going to have an actual.
But I think you're right here. I think Wentworth's going to get another one, and we'll see. Yeah, they are. And I'll tell you what, the former Beacons assistant, Ryan McGrath, who's now the assistant for Wentworth, he's going to give the refs an earful because now we have it this is going to be the 4th Beacons power play. Wentworth hasn't seen one yet, and that's going to get any coaching staff steamed. Obviously, you want to keep the power plays a little bit even if you can. So
it'll be a 5-on-3 for only 3 seconds. So Beacons can win the face-off, maybe set up something quick, but they will have 2 minutes of 5-on-4 time as the face-off is won by UMass Boston. Larkin for Albano. Albano, a lot of time to shoot. Takes it. Good save by Hubbard. A chance for Santa Pass. Great save. Another great save and a chance from Zach Bross as Ryan Hubbard is looking like Carey Price out there, and some more extracurriculars after the whistle.
Huge saves. Huge saves. I mean, my goodness. I don't know how many of those pucks he saw until the very last second, especially that last one. I mean, he threw out that left leg at the last second and was able to come up with it, did a little snow angel, and he looks good. This kid has come in off the bench. He looks real strong. And now I think the Beacons are going to get one, although they're taking they're going to take a Wentworth player as well. So
It's Santa Pass for the Beacons, and for Wentworth, Garrett Jean is heading back to the sin bin just 3 seconds after he exited it.
Real tough. He spent a lot of time in the box. Obviously, no chance at seeing any PK or 5-on-5 time, but it'll remain a 5-on-3 here. Or 5-on-4, rather. Sorry, the original had expired, so it will be a 5-on-4 with the 2 match penalties.
Redler will take the face-off as he is out there, along with the usual cast of characters, Zach Bross, Nick Albano, Colin Larkin, and I'm taking a look at who the last. That's actually going to be Daniel Knackbauer, since Santa Pass is in the sin bin.
Yep, which is good. Good to see. He's looked well. He's looked had a good game there. You saw him off the rush. I think he has an assist tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
He actually had the fifth goal.
That's right. Yep.
So here's a chance for the Beacons to extend their lead. There's a shot from Larkin. Good save from Hubbard with the left leg with Redler bearing down. Beacons trying to keep this attack going with 1:30 to go in the 5-on-4. There's a shot from Larkin. That one high and wide to the far side. Nice backhander right in front from Redler as he was trying to set up Zach Bross, but he couldn't get good wood on it. And it's dumped all the way down where it'll be cleaned up by Anthony D'Urso. Hasn't had a lot of work to do in the last few minutes.
The Leopards have done a great job in protecting the front of the net here. They've really given a lot of ice on this power play to the Beacons, but what they're saying is go ahead, take a shot. We'll allow our goalie to make the save. We're going to clear the rebound. So far, it's worked.
Larkin gets it from Albano, comes to the near side circle for Bross. Bross waiting, goes far side, Albano back to Larkin. He's got a lane, takes it off the backside of Knackbauer, and then a shot from Bross hits the side of the net from number 18 in white. Bross tries to go far side, instead it's knocked towards Larkin. Larkin finds Albano, his shot right into the webbing of the glove of Ryan Hubbard.
Bross kid's good, fits in nice. It looks good on the power play. A lot of times you put a freshman out there, they're a little lost. But he has looked good. I've been thoroughly impressed by the way the freshman has played tonight. Obviously already has his first and looking for more.
We'll see that second power play come out. Beacons do keep it in. Good play made from the point by Carter, and then using his head there as that one deflected off his noggin. And a souvenir for a lucky fan here at Clark Athletic Center. 10:57 to go. We're almost at the halfway point of this game, and for the first 8 minutes we had 7 goals announced in the last 14. Or like 24 rather, we haven't had any.
Yeah, coaching staff obviously making adjustments here. I have been surprised the fact that the Beacons haven't been able to bury on this power play with just under 40 seconds left here. We'll see if they can change that, but having a lot of opportunities, and you got to expect the refs are going to be looking a little bit to tie up some of those Beacons with some calls to give Wentworth some opportunities.
McGregor comes away with it. He's got a shooting lane and a good save with a chest by the netminder Hubbard. Beacons with 20 seconds to go on the power play. Carter keeps it in. Taken in by McGregor. McGregor's got Gannon out there as it goes D to D to Chukrin. That one knocked down on an attempt to get it to McGregor. Chukrin looking for Sifferlin. Instead, he sends it back to the point for Gannon. Drew's shot knocked down. Second chance for Gannon, deflected into the netting with just 2 seconds left on that power play.
All right, well, you got to watch the box here. You got 2 seconds left on that penalty, and you're going to have...
I think it's going to be Weiss that's going to come
Weiss
out.
Is going to leave? Okay, so you got Weiss coming out of the box here. Now, if Wentworth wins the draw as a Beacon, you got to keep your head on a swivel and get back because he's going to have a huge head start on you. We'll see what this draw dictates, and the Beacons win it anyway. But you still got to watch that box here.
There's a chance as a shot got through the initial line of defense, but then it is knocked down by Sean Brennan. As this one is going to be cleared by DiGeronimo, but the Beacons keep it in their half of the ice. There's a chance for a blast from Holiday as that's waffle boarded away by Hubbard. From the point, kept in by Super Dini. Great pass in front. Knackbauer sends it far to the far side post as he had a chance on that one.
Just missed. What a play.
This one backhanded by Holiday, taken in behind the net by Wickline. Wickline for Knackbauer. His shot from a tough angle is kicked away by the netminder. We're all evened up at 5-on-5 finally as Knackbauer used that shoulder to take control in front, and that went off the stick of the intended recipient Holiday, and eventually it is cleared all the way down. So the Beacons have had the puck in the attacking zone now for 3 or 4 consecutive minutes thanks to those power plays. See Bono moving forward. John Bono over the red line, motoring through as he sends this one into the breadbasket of Hubbard. He'll cover up with 9:17 to go.
One of the faster skaters in general, let alone defensemen. John Bono there, and skating down the wing is able to fire a shot on goal. And you expect Wentworth to have a little bit of a push here. You've killed off a number of penalties. Oftentimes you'll see the team kind of gain some momentum off that. So I wouldn't expect too much of one. Beacon still look pretty strong, but would expect to see somewhat of a push here by Wentworth, maybe a shift or two. So they might try to take some chances, generate some offense.
Here's a chance now for Riley on the interception. High-rising shot, and getting a piece of that one with the glove was Hubbard. Jack Riley has looked good today. He's gotten a couple of chances, just hasn't tickled the twine as they turn this one over. And finally, here come the Leopards the other way, 3-on-3. Good deflection by Gallagher on the stick check, trying to clear this one unsuccessfully as it's dumped all the way back in by Adam Lane behind the net, sending it back towards Lane. Instead, it's deflected out of harm's way by Sifferlin. Chasing after this one is number 5, Connor Bush. Turns it over to Drew Gannon, and he'll send it deep and go for a line change. Beacons are offside, so they'll have to retouch. 8:30 to go, second period. Nice play, knocking that one down by Sifferlin to eliminate any sort of outlet pass there. In the corner, good aggressive play with the body by Chukrin. Gallagher just trying to get it out of harm's way, and he does, as it's dumped right back towards Garrett. Garrett sends this one towards Larkin. He finds him. Colin has Redler looking for him. It gets through the defense at first, as unable to play it at first was Liam McKay. Then he does hand it right back to Larkin. Chukrin from the point takes a shot. That one high rising. I think Redler might have got a piece of that deflection into the net, although they're going to say it was actually the netminder Hubbard, so the Beacons will keep a face-off in the attacking zone.
Yeah, one of the reasons we talk a lot about how good of a player Larkin is, his release, his ability to fire the puck. You saw right there, it was a subtle play, but he was able to not only protect the puck, but with whatever little space and ice he had, was able to feather a pass towards the center and try to find Redler. I didn't think he had any angle to do that, and he still found a way to get that puck across. Didn't generate much, but one of those subtle little plays that makes him so good.
Great chance here for the Beacons. Trying to send it out in front was Redler on a good feed from Larkin. Redler's chance, and he had to open half the net as the netminder Hubbard didn't see it, but he missed wide on deflection. Larkin behind the net, 7:38 to go. Short side pass, they score! What a feed from the captain, Colin Larkin, as he connects with Nolan Redler, who delivers his second of the day at 6-2.
He's making me look good. There he is. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Larkin, just a nifty little pass here. Hubbard had no chance, had no idea where the puck was, and before he found it, it was in the back of the net. And I'll tell you what, that is a heck of a pass there by Colin Larkin. We'll bring it to you here on this replay. Watch as he goes behind the net. He's able to feather this out front. And if we can't bring it to you here, we'll bring it to you after the whistle. But a nifty pass there by Larkin. He's able to find Redler, tuck that home 5-hole. Hubbard had no chance. 6-2 Beacons.
Beacons have tripled up the visiting Wentworth Leopards 6-2 as this one is sent off the sideboards, and then losing an edge was Keene, and that's going to lead to an icing with 7:16 to go. Nolan Redler with 2 goals and an assist in the exhibition after a more than point-per-game performance last year. We'll take a look at the replay in a moment.
Yeah, let's bring that up, guys, and you'll see here, just as he goes behind the net here, watch this little drop pass if you can. I don't know if we have time here. Seth's still dialing it up.
We'll get it at the next whistle as the face-off is won by McGregor. Gets it to Bono around the end boards and towards the sideboards, where Keene will just deflect it out of the Beacons' attacking, their defensive zone, rather. Dante Sufredini from his own zone sends it off of the sideboards. Sanapass careens it around the end boards, where it's taken in there by Hubbard. Hubbard saucers it out of play, and if that was the NHL, he's seeing a 2-minute delay game penalty.
Yeah, and instead no change here. And you saw, I think McGrath thought there was going to be a penalty. He was joking with the ref. This is that pass I was telling you about. And that's that little, it's like if you know in the NBA, they do that little flick behind the back, nice little drop pass to whoever's trailing. Well, that's what Larkin just did, the ice hockey version. Behind the net, and just kind of drops one out to Redler, and was able to tuck it 5-hole to make it 6-2. But a nice pass by Larkin, great finish by Redler.
So many new faces and new lines. I've been impressed with the Beacons passing. We already saw another great pass there from Dakota Keene trying to hook up with McGregor.
It's really been good, John, especially first game of the year. I'd be surprised. We'll have to find out after the game. We'll have to ask Coach Blyle his thoughts, but I'd be surprised, if I'm him, at how good the passing has looked this early in the season.
Especially after last year, where the passing was not great, coming off a Frozen 4 appearance, as there's a chance from Sanapass sending it through the net mouth, as Chukrin pokes it deeper into the zone, pinching in. Backhand pass. He was looking for Sufredini. Instead, it's turned over. Good play by Dakota Keene to rest back with Chukrin pinching as he's back in his own zone to fight for the puck. Doing a better job of it, though, and taking control of it there was Wentworth. There's a shot deflected in front from the stick of Connor Bush, and that one goes into the netting with 5:59 to go.
But getting back to that, and that's such an important part of the game. John, is your ability to pass the puck. I mean, you can have all the speed in the world. You take all your fastest skaters, find them wherever they are, and put them on a team. Doesn't necessarily translate directly to goals. You really need that passing, hitting guys in stride, putting it on their forehand instead of their backhand, putting it into areas where they can get to it and make a play. These are all the different types of passes that players have to do in the blink of an eye. And so far tonight, the Beacons have been a great advocate of being able to not only use their speed, but passing and putting it on the tape.
And meanwhile, here come the Leopards into the attacking zone. They're looking for some offense. They haven't had any in a while since it was 3-2. 3 unanswered for the Beacons. That shot high riser, waffle boarded away, and a good play made by the netminder D'Urso. Big collision into the corner as the Beacons are able to clear it all the way down. Hubbard coming out of his net. He will hand this one off to Connor Bush. Bush being harassed down low as the Beacons continuing to apply an aggressive forecheck. Holiday was the one there first. He now has possession of the puck. Justin Holiday from the far side wall takes the shot, sticked away by the netminder Hubbard. Backhanded feed from Holiday, who then just crashed into the boards on his own and then takes a check into the boards. Tough shift here for Justin as he's continuing to fight for possession. Now Daniel Knackbauer gets it. He is tripped up a little bit, no call. And the Beacons see the Leopards cleared all the way down where Gallagher will get there first. Gallagher off the sideboards. Knackbauer hammers it in as the Beacons will get a full line change. They will get that third line out as this one was Riley intercepting it, unable to maintain possession. 4:38 to go, second period. Delayed offsides, and now offsides are Georgi Gorodetsky and the Leopards of Wentworth.
Well, stay tuned after the second intermission report. For those at home, we will be talking to recently former Beacon alumni Tyler Bishop, one of the all-time great scoring defensemen, and happy to talk to him. He's in the building tonight watching the game, so stay tuned on the intermission. I'll be doing a quick Q&A with Tyler.
Tyler Bishop, obviously 4 illustrious years here on Beaconville, had a lot of happy memories in his 4 years that went by all too quickly as the Beacons offensively see Drew Gannon had control. Good play defensively to swat it away as that was a play made by Liam McKay as this one's cleared all the way to the red line. Sifferlin sending it for Albano, and then he sends it all the way down. Liam McKay being harassed there by Riley as Jack stays into the attacking zone with that forecheck, kicks it to his own stick, at least attempted to, but Liam McKay gets there, and he will dump it towards the blue line, but not out. Man, the Wentworth Leopards just having trouble possessing the puck. It seems like they have avenues to set up potential rushes, but they just can't get possession and keep it.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of frustration.
Oh, what a goal for Albano! Off the ice and on the board. The man who was hurt in the first period delivers his first career collegiate goal.
I thought Hubbard was back, and all of a sudden he's got his hand up. It's in the back of the net, and we'll have to see on the replay. But Albano, quick wit, right? If you see the puck, you know the goalie just sent it around. Hubbard might have been a little lackadaisical getting back to the net, but fires one around the boards. Albano just picks it up, fires it to the net, and is able to bury it for his first goal as a Beacon. And I'll tell you what, we've had a couple freshmen here tonight who have been able to get their first. And Albano, who, again, a big night for him. Couple of hits, he's dealing with an injury, able to bury his first goal, and good for the kid. He's had a big night.
Albano and Bross are those freshmen that have tallied their first goals. And now the Beacons have their top line out there. Bross on it. He lays the lumber into the defender, DiGeronimo. Beacons leading it 6-2 on the first career goal by Nick Albano, who, if you're just joining us, missed the latter portion of the first period after suffering a shoulder injury. That shoulder looks okay to me.
I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm sure any pain that was residual from that hit is gone at the moment.
There's a high rising shot from Carter. A little bit too much under it as it's taken in by Wentworth, but then a quick turnover. Redler backhanded for Larkin's backhand, and this one did not get good wood on it, did Colin, as it's kicked away by Hubbard. As this one's sent all the way down. Finishing the hit there was Bross as he lays into DiGeronimo. Larkin gets it from Sufredini. Colin just got out of the zone by himself as this one's dumped all the way back in by the sophomore Adam Tracy from Sleepy Hollow, New York. And now here's Sufredini to get over the red line and dump it in, but right into the glove of Sean Brennan. Brennan siphons it off the sideboards. Again, unable to corral the pass was Byron Carlisle and the visiting Wentworth Leopards. As we'll take a look now at the replay.
Yeah, you see here, a good wrap. I mean, it's not like he whiffed on it. It's a good wrap there. Albano just gets it and fires it. And I don't know if Hubbard got maybe caught up on the way back. I think he might have tripped. because he had it's a lot of times the goalie, when he goes to play the puck, he'll flub it, and you'll see a quick turnover, and all of a sudden it's in the back of net. But he actually fired that, and I thought he was back in time. I think my guess would be he tripped a little bit, and it might have been a size issue, John. He's not the tallest guy, couldn't get up there in time. Albano gets his first.
That's a deflection in front. Nice play with the stick by Keene off the initial shot from Suferdini. And Matt, I think that Hubbard, he's a senior, so he's got a lot of experience, but something tells me he'll think twice before he crawls out of the crease again today.
Yeah, goalies have a short memory. You hope that's the case with this kid, because obviously that's one he'd like to have back.
Less than 2 minutes to go, second period action. Beacons leading at 7-2. Behind the net, here's Dakota Keene. Tried to go back to Suferdini at the point. It was deflected and a turnover, and now here's a chance for the Leopards. Nice deflection as here's Adam Tracy's high-rising shot, and waffle boarded away by D'Urso, who has not had to make a lot of saves here in the second, but he has been solid.
Yep, he settled down nicely, and this is the line I'd like to see get going. We haven't seen a lot of this second line here. Santa Pass, McGregor, and Keene, they've been a little quiet, and a night like this, starting to turn into a point night now at 7-2, that's a line you'd like to see get going.
And Gannon got a bat poked away. Good play made by number 17, or rather 11, Ethan Weiss. That was a good play to keep Drew Gannon out of the attacking zone. Just 70 seconds to go, second period. And now over the blue line is Gorodetsky. Georgie's shot, trying to go short side. A good save by D'Urso with the glove. Gorodetsky, no look backhander through the net mouth. No chance there from a bad angle. And now the defenseman Bush pinching in. This one towards the near side of the net. And D'Urso's crease siphoned around the end boards. Chukrin will not get there first, but a pass intercepted on a good play by Gannon, and he'll clear. 45 seconds left. Chukrin from in front of D'Urso's crease has it, being harassed from behind by Matthew Kennedy. Gannon emerges from the scuffle with it, finds Sifferlin, who connected with Riley, but he could not settle it down. And then that one was intercepted and moved forward by Suferdini as Sifferlin looking for Gannon, deflected off the skate of McKay. Right back towards the point, but luckily for the Leopards, Gorodetsky was in front of Suferdini. And he finds Matthew Kennedy, drops it for Georgie. Gorodetsky's shot way off as the Arizona State transfer missed short side. 12 seconds to go. Last chance for romance in the second for the Leopards. They do emerge from it. Back to the point, a shot. That one high and wide on the blast taken from Garrett Jean. And with the Beacons coming away with it, that will do it for the second period of play. So UMass Boston had a couple of penalties that they were unable to capitalize on, but instead of letting momentum shift towards the Leopards after failing on the power play, the Beacons came right back out and put 2 more goals on the board, including the first of the career for Nick Albano, and they have a 5-goal lead after 2 periods.
Yeah, that was the turning point in this period. The Beacons had a ton of opportunities, and I honestly thought we were going to see a push from Wentworth a little bit there, but there was a lot of resistance for the Beacons after they didn't score, and then you saw late in the period 2 late goals. And they really, I don't want to say they've put this one away, but they've really taken a lot of any type of steam that Wentworth has had here. You kind of saw the demeanor. I've seen some shoulders have kind of started sagging, and players are kind of taking, dump and change rather than maybe try to make a play. And so they've taken a lot of the life out of this Wentworth team. But I'll tell you what, the one thing I've been pretty amazed at, this Hubbard kid. And he's played pretty well. Came off the bench. He's made some great saves. And I know he gave up 2 in that period. The one he'd like to have back, the one he wrapped. But I thought he's played really well. He held down the fort there on a lot of those power plays. He's done a nice job. I think they want to build on that. We haven't seen much of those Wentworth, those transfers from ASU. Haven't seen much, maybe a few shots. But the Beacons have looked really good. The passing's there. A few things to tighten up. I've seen a few of the freshmen maybe make some minor mistakes in the D zone. Maybe, Riley got pushed out of the center there when Gano tried to find a minor stuff that you learn with experience. But other than that, it's been a pretty solid game here for the Beacons. Haven't been much to complain with. I'm sure Coach Blau will find something. Very rarely does he come into the locker room and tell them they got a clean slate. But from our perspective, pretty good game here with the white and blue.
One player who had a lot of pretty good games was Tyler Bishop. And after we come back from this break, my partner in crime, Matt Meisenbacher, will converse with Tyler and see how he's doing in his post-Beaconville days. But first, we do have a double-header of hockey tomorrow, beginning with the women's hockey team as they kick off their campaign against a very good St. Anselm Hawks squad. Let's take a look at how Lindsey Berman's club looks heading into 2017-18 here on the Intermission Report on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I think I learned a lot last year, especially being a junior as a captain. And this year I have 3 assistants instead of 1, so I think that really helps and helps me focus on my game a little bit more. And I think last year was a huge learning year, so hopefully as a captain this year it'll just go a lot better and just use everything I learned last year. What helps us the most is having that big sophomore class, and a lot of them stepped up a lot already this year. And then we have great freshmen coming in, so I think we have big shoes to fill, but it shouldn't be too tough, so not too worried, but we'll definitely miss them out there this year.
I think for me personally, coming off the injury from last year and the year before, I'm just excited to get back and play and be a part of the team, and I hope from 2 years ago we can make it back to that point this year, so I just hope to contribute the best I can. The game against Nichols I thought went pretty good for what we had and what we were doing. A takeaway is definitely going to be like just getting the kinks out, working as a team, making the passes.
We seem to have a lot of depth this year that we haven't really had since my freshman year. My freshman year we had 18 forwards and 4 great lines, and I think that's what we have this year. And it's really great to have all that depth, and it can be anyone on the score sheet any night. So I think that's something we definitely need to take advantage of.
A goalie-D relationship is like super important. I know when Rachel plays, I don't even think she needs to say anything. Sometimes like we've been playing together for so long now, I just know exactly what she wants. And Alyssa's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen. She's out here whenever she can be, like taking shots from the guys, like taking shots from everybody. Like she's just super persistent, and I think that the two of them together, we're going to be unstoppable. They're really, really great to have in the net, and I have full confidence in both of them.
From last year, Julia Nolan's definitely going to be a key player again. Emily Harris, when she gets going, she's on fire. For the new guys, I think Caitlin Parent, the transfer from Utica, is going to be really good when she gets her groove. Caitlin Leffler is also pretty good. She just needs to find that confidence momentum, like being young and being new, you just kind of got to find where you fit in.
So obviously losing Kat was like really, really big for us. She was my D partner since my freshman year. I miss her a lot. We brought in a really nice, strong D. Her name's Jane Ann. She's doing great. I think she's picking up really, really well everything that coach is trying to put down for us. I think overall we've got a really solid D core. We've got 7 girls on D, and everyone's coming to work hard to practice every day. We're doing the right things, getting our footwork down, and I think it'll be a good year for D.
We are higher up in the conference. We got second on the preseason poll, but that really doesn't mean anything. So I think we do have bigger shoes to fill being in that spot. Kind of bummed out about Manhattanville leaving because that was always a big rival game, and that was always a lot of fun. But yeah, so I'm hoping we can take advantage of that and really, get back to where we were my sophomore year in the championship game.
Well, my freshman year, I played on the same team as Z. She was our captain, for 2 years. I think that her perspective on the game, and not only on the game, but our organization and how we work as a team and as a family, I think it's like really, really important because, you can send somebody in that's new and they can do their best, but, having experienced this and having gone through what we've been through and us knowing that she's been where we are, it's just like a whole different level of respect and then mutual agreement of just like she knows the game, she knows what she's doing, and we're going to put all our trust in her and trust the process.
One of my biggest goals, I'd love to win the Codfish this year. We haven't won it since I've been here, so that's definitely a big goal. And I think just being a consistent team, which can be really tough.
Playing our game and not getting like frustrated with each other and making sure we're on that win streak. We have to definitely play as a team and as a whole, though. I mean, we all can do it individually, but when you play as a team, we're unstoppable as a Beacon.
Welcome back here to the Beacons Broadcasting Network, and we've been graced with the presence, Old Thompson himself, Tyler Bishop, number 21. We were just talking, a little weird broadcasting up here because, I'm used to just automatically seeing 21 and knowing it's Bishop, not the case anymore. Is it a little weird, not wearing the 2-1 anymore?
Yeah, a little weird being back and not suiting up, but it's good to see the guys have a great start here, the first 2 periods, and they look good so far, so hopefully they can keep it up in the third.
7 goals, man. Yeah, I mean, talk about coming out of the gate strong, and we were talking a little bit off air and on the broadcast about, really in a game like this, there's rust, the chemistry factor, right? You're playing with guys you don't necessarily know. We haven't really seen that.
Yeah, only a couple weeks you get to prepare for this game, and, they've had 4 lines banging, getting pucks deep, pucks to the net, and they've looked good so far. I mean, they've dominated the zone time here, and again, hopefully they can keep it calm for the last 20.
And I've noticed Blyle's been somewhat calm. I haven't heard a lot of out there, so which is good. It means the team must look good out there.
Yeah,
I mean, satisfied.
Yeah, I guess a calm Pete is a good Pete, and I think maybe his first game without Coach Walsh.
Very true.
Maybe he's keeping it a little, simmer it down a little bit, but I mean, his team's played pretty well so
Tough
far.
to complain. 7-2 after 2.
Yeah.
But talk to us a little bit. I know, obviously, did a little bit of the pro stint, had a little bit of pro time, and now, unfortunately, career's over. Unfortunately for me, I never got the call to the league. You're probably still waiting. But talk to us a little bit about, what it's like now. Unfortunately, you got to watch now. But is it different at all? Watching a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different. You kind of look at it a little bit differently. What kids do certain things.
Systems
and
whatnot.
Systems and what face-off plays people are doing, and it's definitely different. You can see the whole ice up here. It's a different perspective, but I'm enjoying it so far. So.
What's next on the agenda for Tyler Bishop? We got any coaching in your future? Maybe reffing, or
I don't know.
we're just waiting for that?
I won't rule anything out. I mean, definitely coaching, something I would be interested in.
Definitely men's league.
Definitely men's league. Tough loss last night, but shout out Hockey Town. But
always.
But yeah, no, definitely some men's league, and we'll see about the coaching thing. But I'm definitely going to try and get to as many Beacons games as I can.
Certainly, and we've got Survivor Series coming up, so maybe we'll borrow the headset and we'll do a little bit of some WWE from our apartment in a couple weeks. But Tyler, thanks for doing it with us. Always good to see you. Enjoy the third period.
Yep.
We'll go to commercial break and be right here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Welcome back into the broadcasting booth. John Scooter is here with you. Let's take a look at the second period statistics along with Matt Meisenbacher here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And that is just the numbers for the second, Matt. And the Beacons, again, dominating offensively, 19 shots to just 8. The faceoffs are cumulative, and sitting with 16-13 after one, it's now 34-18. The Beacons dominating that second. They're throwing us curveballs here. You got to pay attention to the stats, right? Because you got second period shots, but you got totals on faceoffs, power plays, and penalties. So you got to stay on your toes. You know what that is? That's a check to make sure we're on our game in game one. And I'll tell you what, kudos on you nailed that spot on. But you said it. Faceoffs, dominating in the faceoff circle. The power play. This is one area. Now I did mention. Are there any blemishes? What's Coach Ball going to find here? The power play, 0 for 3, and that needs to be strong. I know Wentworth really is a nice way to start the season, but against some of these stronger teams, you're going to need your power play to come through and get some goals for you. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach is talking to them a little bit. Hey, if we do get another power play, let's bury one. Let's get on the board. Let's not go 0 for on the power play. They get the one in the first. Oh, jeez. The statistics, just like we said. Throwing me. I just said it, and I'm blowing it. You're right. So they're on. So forget everything I just said. They're already on the board. Coach Blah has no blemishes, nothing to talk about with his team. They're a perfect hockey squad at this point. We'll see if they're perfect in the third period. I mean, they do have a 5-goal lead, but crazier things have happened. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen crazy things happen. Yep. It's not like Anthony D'Urso, while he's played well, it's not like he's a real seasoned vet in this level, in this conference. So we'll see what does happen as we get a chance now to take a look at the second period highlights. And Matt, it was a period to enjoy if you were a Beacons fan. They're going to be saying the word Beaks a lot here, but we'll run right to it here. And you're going to start off with a couple saves. D'Urso did have to start this period. It was a long time ago, but that's a great blocker save. Hey, right out of the gate, from Johnson has just under 30 seconds into the game. Had to come up with a nice blocker save, and then here was that crossing pass on that 2-on-1. Was able to get over, cut down the angle, and no rebound. He did, and I got to give him credit. 2 really good saves right out of the gate. That set the tone here. You're going to see some great saves on the other end by Hubbard, and these were some of those power play saves we talked about. The little guy, Hubbard, covering a lot of net, he's got that great shuffle. He's able to move relatively quickly. He's got a little bit of a crab style, I would call it, and that was his best save of the period right there. Was able to cover that for a rebound. That's the Larkin goal, and I'll tell you, that's the type of passing that makes him such a deadly player. We know the release, we know his scoring ability, but that pass to Redler was out of this world. Redler buried 5-hole, and again, there he saw it, and you can see it right there on the left side of your screen. Hubbard did get tied up, and I think it was with his own player. And I'm going to go with that now because you can tell by the reaction. He looked at his defense like, come on, man, you got to let me get back to the net. And that made it 7-2, and a couple more saves here. We'll have Durso. But, and he's looked good. He's settled down late in this period. He got off to that start where he thought, oh, boy, are we going to have, two goaltenders get replaced here? Not the case. The kid has settled down real nice, simmered into his own, and we have a 7-2 game now. I would expect his defense around him to really pack it in, not allow much, and they'll take their opportunities as they come. But no, you just as if you're the Beacons, no need to make this a hockey game, right? Let's not take unnecessary risk. Let's just come out here, win a period, and walk out of here with a W. Start the season 1-0.
Absolutely. Let's take a look now around Beaconville and see how the rest of the UMass Boston squads will be faring this weekend. Good news from Skidmore as volleyball has evened it up heading into the third set. 1-1 against Skidmore College on the road. Tomorrow, the men's soccer team will be on the road as they'll be at Western Connecticut State at 6 p.m. And the women will be at home. The women's soccer team hosting Western Connecticut State on the BBN. Coverage of that beginning just before 1 p.m. And the women's hockey team will be the first half of our doubleheader here on the BBN. Matt, myself will be here right at Clark Athletic Center. Coverage beginning around 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time against St. Anselm College. Let's take a look at the NEHC update as the Beacons are on their way out onto the ice. About 70 seconds or so from the opening face-off of the third period. And you see it right there. Elmira College and Hobart College, no score after one. New England College still leads Fitchburg after 2, 1-0. How about that in the second period? Salve Regina up 2-0 on Norwich as the Cadets, always one of the top teams in the NEHC. You mentioned Salve Regina's talented, but that was a big upset early on.
You know what? And now I didn't want to get too excited. 1-0 after one, no big deal. But to be up 2-0 in the second period, granted, still a lot of time, or some on the clock because it's not end of 2. But interesting. Up 2 at Norwich. They'll make a push, but keep an eye on that score there. That's the one you want to look at tonight on the out-of-town scoreboard.
We'll take another look on it at it on the post-game show, no doubt. Skidmore and Nichols tied it 2 in the second, and UNE absolutely obliterating Southern Maine 3-0 after 1. We are all but set for the final period of regulation time. Let's look ahead to see what's coming up on the Beacons Broadcasting Network for this men's soccer squad. Hockey squad, excuse me.
Hey, we can.
I was just talking about the soccer team, so
we can get that out.
Curry College will be here this afternoon tomorrow at 4 p.m. Then they'll be on the road at Norwich on Tuesday, and then Castleton the following day. It's actually next Friday. I'm losing my dates. The Beacons set to go. Knackbauer to take the face-off to begin the third period. Adam Lane for Wentworth, and we are all evened up 5-on-5. No penalties still left over as Chakran takes the face-off win and takes a hit as he dumps this one down. From the point, good play by Gallagher as he just sends it off the end boards. Coming on over is DiGeronimo. He reverses his course back the other way and then reverses it with the stick as he sends it D to D, and the outlet is successful as Lane gets it from Tracy. This one dumped all the way in. Johnston got it poked away from him, and now Knackbauer takes it out of the zone over the red line and dumps and chases. 7-2 UMass Boston. Matt Meisenbacher along with myself, John Skudris. Beacons behind the net as this one is blocked down by Chukrin. Tough angled shot, and that one's gloved out of thin air by Ryan Hubbard for our first stoppage. 19:16 to go.
And no need to take unnecessary risk. I'm sure the coaching staff preached it to the Beacons. Okay, we're up 5. We're at home. We don't want to make this a game. All of a sudden, Wentworth gets 1, they get 2. They're back in and they get momentum. We've got them right now where we want them. I'm looking at the bench. Coach Blyle's smiling. You don't see him smiling ever. So let's keep that going. Good vibes up and down the bench, and keep this nice little lead here. Get Durso a win.
Into the attacking zone behind the net, and That's the freshman Albano fighting for it, along with Georgi Gorodetsky. Instead, the Beacons emerge. Here's Redler getting it from Larkin, and now Albano coming on in, a shot and a good save by Hubbard, squeezing those legs together in the butterfly, but another aggressive play by Albano, who's still down low, as he will head back into his own zone as the outlet is successful, and taking it and dumping it is Connor Bush. Behind the net, Carter got cut off. Beacons are able to maintain some semblance of possession in the corner before turning it over to Gorodetsky. Was Bross, but the Beacons take it away. This one will make it out into neutral ice. Onside was Gorodetsky as Brendan Lloyd comes all the way into the corner. Brendan dumping it for Johnny Spada. Instead, the Beacons get control and clear. Garrett Jean backhands it to his defensive line mate Liam McKay. Liam is intercepted by Larkin, poked out of his grasp for Gallagher, looking for Redler on the stretch pass, deflected, and Hubbard will cover up just a minute 58 into the third period.
Well, I mentioned it briefly in the second, but the one piece that's missing is the line that's out there here now, the second line, Santa Pass, McGregor, Keene. Now, all these guys, they know each other well, two juniors and a sophomore, Keene being the sophomore. Would love to see some chemistry get generated off this second line. Not saying they necessarily need to score a goal, but just get a little bit of that chemistry going. They've been a little quiet tonight. In a game like this, I'd expect a little bit more out of them. Let's see if they get one.
Keene was looking for Santa Pass on the backhand in front of the net, but it was deflected wide. That was a pass to the point. D-to-D Superdini for Bono. Good block. As getting in the shooting lane there was Emil Levesque.
See if coach leaves him out there. Leave him out there.
And this one sent into the netting. Like you said, he's going to leave him out there.
Leave him out there. Let him ride a little bit. You know, he might, certain instances, he might quick change. Get him off. Get your first line out there for an end zone draw. But, you know, up 7-2, right? Yeah. Let him play a little bit, and good coaching decision. I give him a check plus on that.
Hey, you said he was smiling moments ago. I think, I love Coach Pete, but I think, he'd be one of the. He would deny. Would agree. I mean, yeah.
If he
doesn't have a lot of fun sometimes.
If he was up here, he'd be denied. No, I wasn't smiling.
Oh, of course.
I was
the first to tell you. Never. As this one comes into the corner, Santa Pass fighting for it with Weiss. Weiss tries to send it far side. It is kept in by McGregor for the moment, and then it is careening out towards neutral ice, where it is dumped all the way in by Weiss. And he was not beyond the red line, so that is icing on Wentworth. So break for the Beacons as they'll get an offensive zone face-off. 17-17 to go, third period of play. It's 7-2, UMass Boston out on top as this game began with a quick goal on the power play by Redler and then was quickly answered on a shot for the point from Garrett Jean. The Beacons took a 3-1 lead. It was cut to 3-2. And the Beacons since then have scored 4 unanswered, so their 5-goal lead is where it stands now, 7-2. It's another icing as this is dumped down, and Gallagher will touch up. Delayed icing there.
And John, the one area that Wentworth might be looking and clinging onto is that power play, and they really still have a little bit of a discrepancy there. I'm sure, the Wentworth coaching staff on the other hand is saying, hey, listen, let's try to maybe get a couple power plays here. If they can get a couple, put a couple in, and bring some life into this team. So don't be surprised if we see Wentworth maybe perhaps try to gain an edge on that power play and take an advantage on the special teams.
Beacons won the face-off, but they were unable to set up anything there as it's cleared out towards neutral ice. It's still 2-0 Salve Regina after 2 periods over Norwich. Norwich leading shots on goal, though, 28-26. So Salve getting good goaltending from Norwich.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that score. We'll keep everyone posted. Obviously, means a lot. And so to the fans that may not know, the Beacons were not highly ranked coming in. They're ranked to finish. The preseason has them finishing 5th in the division, which of recent history, they've been in the top 3. 5 is not where this team really has themselves poised. They have much higher goals than that. So, an early loss by Norwich and a win by UMass kind of mixes that up real quick right out of the gate. So keep an eye on that score.
Norwich also got 6 of the 8 first place votes. The only other 2 going to New England College. As here's Adam Tracy dropping it back for a shot there from Sean Brennan, blocked down. Another chance from Tracy in front, and that one sailed wide to the short side. In front of the net, taken in there by Gallagher. Garrett sending it far side, careening off the sideboard. Sifferlin will clear. He'll connect there with Jack Riley 1-on-2. Riley coming on in around the defense. That is Brennan. And then Brennan takes him off the puck. Sifferlin came in late, but pinching him off was Tim Shea. Into the corner, Riley down there with Knackbauer. Knackbauer sends it off the end boards, and this one careening towards Sifferlin, who backhands it around. Partial line change for the Beacons. Wickline out there. Cody is able to get possession. Wickline has Albano, hits him. Albano waiting, pulls back smartly, thinks D to D instead, takes a shot, and that one waffle boarded away with Justin Holiday beaming in on the goaltender. That one knocked out of the air by the glove of Carlisle, but 3 Beacons were back, and this is becoming a trend. The Beacons forecheck, forcing it into neutral ice as Holiday takes a rough hit there coming from Garrett Jean. Beacons have it. Albano was deflected off of fellow Beacon Daniel Knackbauer into the netting, and with 15:23 to go, should be a neutral zone face-off. The Beacons are going to get a break. They're going to put it in the attacking zone.
Well, John, it's time for tonight's Beacons trivia question of the night, and the Beacons have won 6 straight opening night wins. They have 6 in a row. Who was the last team to beat the Beacons opening night at home?
Oh, boy. Oh, if it's
well,
6
I'm not
straight.
going to ask Seth, because I know Seth knows. We'll see if we get some tweets. Perhaps some people are going to look it up real quick. It's on your honor, the honor system, people. Give your best guess. No looking up records here, but Beacons 6-0 on opening night. Who was the last team to beat them at home? No looking up.
Well, you can tweet us at UMass Beacons on Twitter. Let us know your answer. As the Beacons...
What's your guess, John?
I mean,
you had to take a shot.
It would definitely be a shot in the dark. This is my 5th year here.
That's a penalty, no.
As that's swatted out of... That's a slashing on Albano, no call. It's my 5th year here, so they've won every year I've been here. As a big hit laid in behind the play, and the Beacons are going to get their first penalty of the day. As the hit was laid in there by Zach Bross, as he crushed number 13, Garrett Jean. And Bross is going to go to the sin bin for 2 minutes. And the first power play for the Leopards.
Well, this is what we talked about. It's still not a ton of time. Oh, yeah, 14 minutes. I mean, that's enough. No one's expecting 5 goals to be given up here. But, this is, I guarantee you, what Coach Blisle is talking about. You got to stay out of the box. You got a 7-2 lead at home. That's the only thing that's going to bring Wentworth back into this game is if you start taking penalties. And, Brossi, big hit. I know what he's trying to do there and establish himself. He probably still has some of that freshman energy going, but opportunity here for Wentworth to make it a 4-goal hockey game.
Face-off won by Wentworth, back towards the point, as this one was Ethan Weiss going far side. Taken in there by Liam McKay, sends it towards Weiss. Georgie Gorodeski also out there. Gorodeski, backhander, as Bono is able to get out of harm's way, and the Beacons will clear. D-to-D feed, as in neutral ice, the Leopards will reset. Going back to your trivia question, I've been here 5 years, so I take a lot of the credit for the 6 straight wins. So I really am not sure. I'm going to guess, and this is going back to LEC days. I don't even know if it was a conference game. And so I will say, forget it. I'm going to say Curry College.
Curry College.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go with the front team. And
I was going to say Norwich.
Babo or Norwich.
Yeah, well, we don't usually play them in the opener, is all I'll say.
So, that's good. All right, you're going Curry.
I don't think either's correct. No. I have no idea. It's probably a school that doesn't even exist anymore, like Daniel Webster.
No. I'm going to go with, I'm going to say Southern Maine.
Well, you probably know the answer.
No, I don't know. Listen, I'm flying blind here. I'm going to go Southern Maine.
Weren't you on that team that had the last win?
I might have been starting.
Yeah.
Might have been one of my only starts.
Seriously.
Oh, man, but no, I honestly, I don't know. Yeah, you're right, though. I was on the team. I should know this, but I would say Southern Maine. I don't know. Seth is going to he'll let me know soon. He's giving me the thumbs down. So so there's a freebie. If you got Southern Maine, cross it out.
Or if you have Curry, because he turned me down, too. We'll let you know the answer before the end of the broadcast. As it's 13:07 to go, a whistle. It has not been an eventful power play as we take a look here at the hit by Zach Bross.
And I'll tell you what, it would have been a clean hit. Hands came up. If he sticks with the shoulder there and just follows through, probably can get away with it. But the fact that the hands come up and it's such a big hit, the ref's going to call that every time.
First power play of the day for Wentworth. They have just 31 seconds left. Beacons had 4 power play chances through the first 40 minutes. They were 1 for 4. Including 0 for 3 in the second period, as a whistle right after the face-off took place. And getting tossed from the face-off dot is Adam Lane. Angus Johnson to replace him, and
Riley's got to be careful here.
Gallagher is like, get me out of the face-off
dot. That too. We got a defenseman taking a draw, but Riley was really, him and, the heck was that? I got to get a number here. Somebody was jawing with him. That was Connor Baudette. They were really going at it there on the face-off. I'm surprised they didn't get matching penalties. They were really slashing and whacking each other. But nonetheless,
all's well that ends well. 12 seconds to go on the power play as they'll try to end it well with the Beacons. Chukrin can just hang out in his own zone before dumping it all the way in on Hubbard, and that'll do it for the 2-minute minor to Zach Ross. And so the Beacons are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill in 2017-18 and picking up where they left off with their 9% success rate a year ago. The Leopards are 0 for 1. Moving forward is Carlisle. He's into the attacking zone, takes a shot. D'Urso gets slashed after he makes the save on the glove by Bodette, and the Beacons defenders don't like that at all.
yeah, no, they'll take care of that. But he pulled up. I wouldn't expect there to be a penalty. I think John's giving me the look.
You're getting soft.
No, I think he pulled up. I didn't think he tried to run him. I wouldn't call a minor there. I think the goalie and Beacons are probably going to look for one. But no, I thought that was a fair. You got to crash the net.
The only thing I'll say is there was a lot of extracurricular activities in the first period. Now, tempers have not flared over since then, which is good. First game of the year, we don't want any suspensions. There's a great pass in front, and an even better save by D'Urso from a net mouth scramble and a point-blank blast from Lloyd.
Came way out. Challenged, no angle. No angle to shoot on there. Great save by D'Urso. Now we're going to get a penalty here.
And a holding call.
Yeah. It's going to be a hold, and I think it's going to be a Beacon. I think it's going to be Redler. It looks like he's got that guilty look. And sure enough, Redler's going to go. So another... Hey, we talked about this. You know, you make things really difficult for yourselves. These are unforced errors here by the Beacons. They've been clean all night, and, you know, we saw this coming. Beacons had a lot of power plays early on. So we had an instance that, you know, Wentworth was going to get an opportunity here. But some of these penalties haven't been good penalties. They've been kind of behind the play. And, you know, giving Wentworth some life that, you know, they don't necessarily have otherwise.
Beacons won the face-off as they will be shorthanded for another 2 minutes just after killing off their first power play for Wentworth. As the Leopards will look to stretch their legs and move forward here. Jake McDonough, the captain, is over the blue line. McDonough all the way around, harassed by Superdini. A little help from Bono separates the puck from McDonough. And there's a chance as it careens towards Connor Bodette. And now back to the point. 1:20 to go in the 2-minute minor for holding to Nolan Redler, as this one is taken in by Bono, and John sends it all the way in on Hubbard. So the Beacons' penalty kill continue to play well, but if one thing that we mentioned for Wentworth was their struggles with the power play last year.
Yeah, and you're seeing it here. But you know what I'm loving is the energy on the Beacons bench. And they're up 7-2 here, but you know those eruptions of noise you might be hearing on the broadcast, that's the Beacons bench giving it up when we have a block shot or a clear. Great to see. Younger squad really rooting for each other out there. Good to see.
From behind the net, fighting for it is Gallagher. He gets it to Chukrin. Chukrin backhands it, and the assistant captain will do it all himself to clear it all the way down with 38 seconds left. Takes an awkward bounce off one of the stanchions as beaming in was Justin Holliday with a wide open net. He gets it back to Chukrin. Gabe's shot deflected off a leg, careening near side, and then a great play by Holliday, setting it up on a tee, and a blast from Riley is blocked down in front.
Great save by Hubbard.
All shorthanded as UMass Boston continuing to apply pressure, a man down. That line did a fantastic job, led by Holliday and Riley, two of the newest Beacons. So you have to love what you saw there. Justin Holliday, a transfer from Suffolk University.
Across town.
As this one is cleared all the way down by Gallagher, and the Beacons have yet again killed off a Wentworth power play. Beacons are now 2 for 2 shorthanded, killing them off as McGregor taking a couple of courtesy whacks at the arms of Sean Brennan. Turns that one over. Good play made there by Albano, careening it off the sideboard. McGregor couldn't settle it down. Albano's poke check, and that leaves a man back. But a good play by Keene to get back as there's a shot blocked down on a nice play made by Carter. Off the initial blast coming from Tim Shea, and the net comes off its moorings with 9:34 to go.
Well, the trivia answer, you see it there, Seth Orensky. Now, I know he's probably going to claim he knew this one, but I guarantee you he didn't, okay?
I bet he probably did.
Gigi, come on. Did he know it? He knew it, but not the score. Okay, so there you have it. The trivia answer. Last team to beat the UMass Boston Beacons at home on opening night, St. A's. Who, you know what? It would have been a good guess because they usually play Beacons hard. They do. They play them hard both home and away. So beat them 2-1 in a close game. And, yeah, do not remember that despite the fact me being on the team.
Well, the thing is, I was angry at myself. The first game I ever broadcast for this squad in October 2013 was against the St. Anselm Hawks, an overtime game winner from Travis Daniel, one of the best ever, to lace him up here on Beaconville.
My boy.
Oh, my goodness.
My
Now, the fact I
Jersey
didn't
boy.
know that is going to bother me now for the next 9:25, unless the Beacons can score quickly. As they lead it by 5. We had a broken stick on the ice, and Beacons are going to be shorthanded again, Matt. At least that's what the initial look is. There's nobody in the sin bin, though, and now Albano will head there.
Albano. Okay, yeah. Didn't see, you know what? And we were fooling around. Didn't see the play. I had to have been a slash with a broken stick. But again, the Beacons team, I guarantee you, Coach Blau is going to have a word about this after the game. This is now the third penalty they've had. They've been on the penalty kill all night, and it's not fair to your PK guys, not fair to your goaltender to be taking penalties like this.
7-2 UMass Boston, along with Matt Meisenbacher. I am John Skudras. The Beacons shorthanded here, and a chance for a nice shot and a good save with the chest of a blast from Georgi Gorodetsky. And a save there by D'Urso. Trying to clear this one not once but twice was Knackbauer, failed both times. Coming up on the 9-minute mark here of the third period. Behind the net, there's a quick wrist shot from the top of the circle by Kennedy. It's blocked down. Sean Brennan now with possession, siphons it around for Kennedy. Matthew Kennedy behind the net to the point here, taken in by DiGeronimo. There's a blast on a one-timer by Brennan, blocked wide of the net on a good play made by Knackbauer. Trying to clear it was Bono. Get some help from Wickline, and Wickline will dump it all the way in.
Well, the Richland, Washington native, not only with a block shot, but with some rebound control. He kicked that one into the corner. He might have, if the Beacons need a fourth tender, it might be looking to see if Knackbauer can hop in net.
Let's hope we don't fall back into that point with 3 ahead of him. Georgi Gorodetsky drops it back to the point. Great save. Not sure if that was deflected in front off the initial shot from Drew DiGeronimo, but good save nonetheless for Anthony D'Urso. And Anthony, since giving up those 2 goals on some a bit iffy shots from the point in the first period, he's been outstanding.
Yes, and he sets himself up really nice on his angle. He comes out not overly aggressive. He's got big size. He's got good reflexes. And I've noticed here, you've called it, really settled in. I think he was a little jumpy. Who wouldn't be? First start on a transfer and with a team like UMass, expectations being so high, really settled into his own. I've liked the way he's kind of calm. He's got a calming presence now in the net.
40 seconds left on the power play, and a shot from the short side angle. From a tough angle, I should say, by Adam Lane. That one was denied by D'Urso. Power play still 30 seconds to go. With possession on the far side is Johnston. Johnston just tried to get it right into the slot for Connor Beaudet. But that one was picked off. Beacons unable to clear initially. Gallagher still can't clear. Knocked down. Good play by Johnston. Angus got away. That was a pick play if I've ever seen it. And that is a penalty coming on up for cross-check here. Actually, excuse me. Not sure if that was a cross-check or a interference. I think interference.
Can we add pick as a penalty? Should have been. But, yeah, it'll be interference. Got my camera guy here giving me the 4-1-1. Yeah, that's a penalty. And opportunity here, I'd be curious to see maybe throwing the second unit out here to start. Is he going to? No, he'll go with his top unit. They haven't seen much ice, being that the Beacons have been on the PK for a lot of the night. But skate 4 side here for a while, and surprised, you see Larkin there. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy maybe 2-3 shots with this open ice, really opens things up for him. But he's got to see here the defensive side.
Ooh, and Carlisle was skating right into a hit from Zach Bross. Turns it over. 4 seconds till the Beacons are on the power play, as Bross will do his job to just keep it in the attacking zone. Well, he did it first, and then he turns this one over to Brendan Lloyd. Beacons are on the power play, 5-on-4 for 1:37, as Dante Suffredini lays into Lloyd and allows Garrison Sanapass to get control. Garrison connecting near side with Bross. Bross, nice pass right back to Garrison. Shot. Great save made by the netminder Hubbard as he denied it with the blocker.
Big blocker save there by Hubbard.
Larkin looking for more. Great pass to Redler, but Nolan couldn't settle it down. Bross fakes the slap shot, just drops it for Redler. Redler skating right in, trying to backhand feed for the far side for Sanapass, but they do clear, the Leopards. And we will get a penalty coming up on UMass Boston.
High stick. Maybe get a high stick and call. It'll come in the zone. A nice play by Redler there coming off the wall. He made a nice stick handle move. Got himself to the front of the net. Would have loved to seen a shot there. You work hard. That's a grade A opportunity. You're not going to get any more real estate better than that. And I think I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to dish to Sanapass backdoor. That's an easy tap in. But when you get to the front of the net, don't be afraid to be selfish there a little bit. Take that shot, especially a kid like Redler. So talented and, obviously be able to score. He's got one tonight, so Like to see him shoot that puck. Obviously an unselfish player. Wanted to hook his buddy Gary up with a goal.
They say they played it with a high stick, so no penalty, but the faceoff does come back into the Beacon zone. Faceoff was won by the Leopards, but Wentworth unable to turn it into anything shorthanded. 60 seconds to go on the 2-minute minor for interference. As UMass Boston with 6.5 to go in regulation time, well on their way to their first victory in their opener as Larkin will motor on through. Pulls up, drops it back for Albano. Albano shot through a screen, and Hubbard with a nice shoulder save, and that's what you said. He just jumps up.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, for those that don't know, we are streaming at the Rose Clare Bar and Tavern. Bartenders Kyle Smith and Colin McDonald wanted to let us know. They said stop on by 86 Rose Clare for a Miller Lite on them if you're a Beacons fan. So maybe we'll head that way after the game, John.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. As UMass Boston looking to celebrate a victory here this afternoon. This evening, I should say, as the Beacons still on the power play for another 30 seconds. Albano trying to get an open lane here on the power play. Drops it for Larkin. Larkin, nice pass, and Redler just scores! UMass Boston! Nolan Redler, and Hubbard did everything he could, but he could not deny the sweet pass from Larkin and the sweet stroke of Redler. It is 8-2 UMass Boston.
Ooh, the fans at the tavern are going to be liking that one. What a pretty play. A couple passes, and then Redler tucks it upstairs. That's where that, you know that old moldy bread, the old hot dog buns you have from last summer? That's where Redler put that one. That thing was way in the back of the net, and I'll tell you what, he got that up in a hurry. A quick couple passes at the blue line. We'll bring in this replay. This is a thing of beauty. Any hockey fan's going to be able to appreciate that goal, power play or not, but Redler getting it upstairs in a hurry, his second of the night.
Moldy bread in the back of the cabinet. I like it. I like it. As UMass Boston continuing to move forward. Knackbauer and the Beacons up by 6 as they extend their lead to a touchdown. And now here's Knackbauer looking for more. Oh, he tried to pass again. The Beacons trying to get these extra passes, maybe one too many, trying to be unselfish. Should have taken the shot. Instead, he looked for Holiday and blows a chance there. 5:30 to go. Bono back into his own zone. It is icing on Wentworth with 5:28 left.
And let's see, can we get this replay? I want to see it. That was a thing of beauty. The passing has been good all night for the Beacons. Up to the top of the point here, and Larkin just quick pass right down to Redler, unattended, and right up top. It was in the back of the net, I think, before Hubbard even moved. But that little filter pass, you know, that little angle you got there, Larkin was able to find it and was able to put it on the tape. Redler put it upstairs.
That is an unbelievable pass from Larkin. I mean, the shot itself was spectacular, but the pass from Colin Larkin, you don't see much better. And tumbling down there was Wickline. Might have been interfered with, but no call at this point with 5:05 to go. Dumping this one all the way in. It's an 8-2 game. Durso still out there for the Beacons as he settles this one down to be siphoned near side by Bono. Bono fighting one-on-one with Brennan. Little help from one of the Wentworth Leopards coming on in there. That was Adam Lane as this one is sent back towards the red line in neutral ice. 4:45 to go. Matt Meisenbacher, John Skudras with you. Beacons Broadcasting Network. Folks, tomorrow afternoon we will bring you a doubleheader, the season debut for the women's hockey team, who just 2 years ago won the New England Hockey Conference. They will look to be right back at it as taking the hit there was Dakota Keene. Coverage for that one beginning at 12:40. Matt and myself will have it for you on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Followed by the second half of our doubleheader and the second game of this weekend's doubleheader for the men's squad, as they will take on Curry College, the team they beat to begin last season, right here from Clark Athletic Center.
Yeah, that should be a good one as well. Curry with a good team, a fast team. We'll see them tomorrow, but Beacon's looking to finish suit here, up 8-2, 4 to go in the third period.
Dumping this one in and chasing will be Johnston. He's out there along with Connor Bodette. Bodette is the one who just lost possession to Albano. Albano finds Keene, who backhands it in, but it's knocked down at the point there by Weiss. Ethan fighting for it. And Sifferlin is able to poke it ahead towards Riley. Riley lost possession. It careens right to Gannon, and he did not have a good angle with which to set up a shot, just swatted it out of there. And a good save made by Ryan Hubbard.
You know, John, we've all been on, it's one thing to be wearing white tonight and be up, 8-2 at home, opening night, fans in the crowd have got their costumes on. It's really tough on the other side of this. To start your season, everyone's revved up, and to be down, 2-8 away, And knowing that tomorrow you've got a Castleton team that's just as good, always competitive, really tough way if you're, Wentworth to start the season. And you hope that these guys are mentally strong enough to bounce back from a game like this because it is a long season. A lot can happen. And, no one wants to start, getting blown out on the road. So it'll be interesting to follow this team a little bit, see if they can recover.
Wentworth members of the Commonwealth Coast Conference, as here's Gallagher moving in. Garrett into the corner, being jockeyed there by Connor Bush into the boards. Bush is able to go D to D, and getting it out of harm's way are the Leopards. You mentioned it. They take on Castleton at home tomorrow, then they're off a couple of days, and they begin their conference play against Endicott College, a home-and-home affair there before home-and-home against Johnson and Wales.
Bono can fly.
As coming on in was Bono, as you said, but John lost possession, dumps it around for Jack Riley. Riley settles that puck down but loses it, and it's cleared out to neutral ice with 2:28 to go. Meanwhile, the Beacons, we mentioned, looking ahead for them. They'll be back at it tomorrow afternoon right here on the BBN against Curry College before heading on a lengthy road trip, a 2-week, 4-game road trip where they'll take on Norwich, Castleton, Southern Maine, and New England College, all conference opponents. So that is absolutely critical for the Beacons to succeed in that road trip.
Oh, without question. And they've got a big one coming up. Now, again, you know me. I don't like getting too far ahead. You don't start looking too far down the schedule. But these players know. They've got Norwich coming up. At Norwich, right out of the gate. So, starting this weekend off, and what really should be a sweep, John. They should beat, this type of Beacons, again, not to get too far ahead, but this is the team that has high expectations.
There's a great chance in front, is tumbling down there. And almost getting a shot on goal was Wickline. 100 seconds to go. And as you said, this one intercepted by Suferdini. Even up 8-2, 90 seconds left. The Beacons have not taken their foot off the gas. And this is their yellow line, their fourth line, if you will. And here they are, dominating time of possession with just a minute to go.
My favorite line, the yellow line. Some of the best Beacons in history. Mark Grinhouse, Mike Kuhn,
Connor McStravick.
Oh my goodness, yeah, one of the all-time great PK guys. Those guys built that yellow line reputation and still lives on today.
Mike Miller often dabbled down there.
Miller was down there for a while, yeah.
Here's an opportunity for Holiday, trying to make it a Holiday on a Friday evening, but he just got his skates taken out from under him. 55 seconds to go as we wind down the first game of the 2017-18 season, and for all intents and purposes, a rousing success for UMass Boston. They took an early lead on a power play goal from Colin Larkin and have not looked back. As things kind of gotten iffy early on, they were only up 2-1 or 1-1, and then 3-2. As there's a chance for Wentworth, perhaps with half a minute to go. But the Beacons, from a 3-2 lead, ballooned it to 8-2, 5 unanswered. And with 23 seconds to go, they're on their way to a 1-0 record. And as you mentioned, six straight seasons.
It'll be 7 now.
7 now with a debut.
Oh, Seth no, he was 6. Oh, jeez.
See, it's because
Seth
the last 5 I've been
trigger.
here, and they've won them all.
You're right, okay. So maybe I just got to pass to you more, but geez, Seth, quick on the trigger. Seth, I got to figure out my Micey's Man of the Night. Who's going to be my MVP?
Yeah.
I don't know. 8-2 game, that's a little tough. I think I want to talk to the freshman, Nick Brose. I think I want to talk to him. St. Louis kid. Had a good night. We got
here we go.
One more here.
It's Jack Riley, a fellow freshman, coming in. He scores! Jack Riley delivers the dagger with 3.4 to go, and the Beacons now have 3 freshmen who have scored in their debuts. It's 9-2 UMass Boston.
I'll tell you what, he doesn't know it right now, but that's going to be his senior story. His first goal, I mean, he's got a big career ahead of him, this Riley kid, but I'll tell you, that's pretty funny. With 3.4, your game's well at hand. You're going to walk out with a W. I'll just end it with a breakaway, get my first collegiate goal, and, walk out of here even happier. Good for the kid. Good for Riley burying it. Nice short side, too. I think it was posted in. Nice little shot there by Riley, but a good way to finish. And good for the kid Durso as well, the goaltender, getting his first win as a Beacon. That's a big game and a big win for the team, big win for him.
Absolutely. Been a while since I called 9 goals for the men's hockey team. I think the women did it a couple of years ago. During one of our broadcasts. But the final score, the Beacons win 9-2 over Wentworth as they improve to 1-0 on the campaign, winning their season opener for the, count it, 6 straight years. UMass Boston now on their way to 1-0. They got another game in less than 24 hours. But, Matt, you had to like what you saw from almost everybody on the ice. D'Urso struggled early, but he really sharpened up late. The freshmen were phenomenal. Redler and Larkin found chemistry. having a hard time looking at anything that I'm not in love with right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. You look at the scoreboard. Anyone walking in the rink right now would think this is a Saugus summer league game. But as you saw here, you saw a Beacons team that just came out of the gates rolling, and they started with speed. Was really impressed with the way they were able to connect chemistry-wise. I mean, almost instantaneously out of the gate, they put pucks towards the net, scored 2 really quick goals, and we saw a team that really never gave up. Throughout the game, rolling 4 lines, didn't really have many mistakes that really cost them much. Wentworth hung around as long as they could. Don't forget, this was a 3-2 hockey game in the first period before the Beacons got too late. So it was a lot closer than people might think, but the Beacons really never just took their foot off the gas. Continued to roll. They got pucks to the net. I'd be interested to see what the final shots on goal was, but, I mean, this is a team that really set the tone here early. You want to come out and start your season with a bang, and this is exactly what they drew up with practices all week.
Beacons scored 5 in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 in the third. The Wentworth Leopards scoring just those only 2 goals in the first period. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll have highlights of this exciting third period, as well as the coach's interview with Peter Belisle and an interview with Mizey's man of the game. The final score, the Beacons 9, the Leopards 2. We'll be back on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Imagine yourself at one of fewer than 300 prestigious research universities in the country, located on a peninsula overlooking the Boston Harbor, just minutes from downtown Boston. Imagine what it would be like to be a student here.
I imagine myself succeeding in the business world.
I imagine taking advantage of all the clinical opportunities in Boston.
Want to go into the police force for a little bit and ultimately end up either working for the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of ICE.
I imagine studying biology, working hand in hand with the professor.
There are many reasons students are attracted to UMass Boston. Just imagine the opportunity to participate in research, live and learn in Boston, and to experience true diversity.
Our researchers have expanded the research enterprise admirably over the last decade. They have engaged in important environmental stewardship. They are at the frontiers of the life sciences and public health.
Being in Boston is a huge advantage, not just to someone like me who's a researcher, but actually to our students.
I started working for Dr. McCoska since my sophomore year, my ending sophomore year, and now I'm going to my senior year, so it's been a very nice journey.
School for Environment is becoming really one of the premier, or if not the premier, coastal environmental sciences programs in the country. The natural laboratory is 5 minutes away for us. The undergraduates and the graduate students can jump on the T or walk out the door or drive 5 minutes and grab sediment samples and vegetation and talk to watershed associations. It's really a wonderful opportunity for our students here with this location.
UMass Boston shares the peninsula with the Edward M. Kennedy Institute for the United States Senate and the John F. Kennedy Library and Museum. Just imagine an internship with one of these organizations or a Fortune 500 company.
There's no location like UMass Boston.
It's so close to the Innovation District, the 4-Point Channel. You can just hop on the Red Line and get there.
I like the fact that Boston is near the water.
I was a legislative intern for Senator Elizabeth Warren in Washington, D.C. And I was there, in the Senate. It made me feel good about myself. It made me feel like I could do so much more. There's so much more out there and ahead of me.
After my internship at Ernst & Young this past summer, I was offered a full-time position to join their risk advisory practice, where I'll be doing part-time security consulting and part-time risk advisory consulting. And I never would have had this opportunity had it not been for UMass Boston.
Imagine what it will be like to interact with students from 150 countries.
You meet people from everywhere. That's the best thing about the school.
Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world.
We also have students here at UMass Boston who come to us from Texas, from Alabama, from Georgia, from California. And I often ask them, what brings you here? And it's always Boston. And then when they come here, they realize UMass Boston.
I decided to come to UMass Boston from the West Coast because, look at it. We've got the ocean, it's beautiful. I'm getting a really great education at great value. I couldn't be happier to be here.
This is what the world looks like. It's here at UMass Boston.
And now, imagine doing all of this at a campus that is buzzing with more than 100 clubs and organizations, 18 NCAA athletic teams, and concerts and films galore. Whether you're interested in studying abroad or doing service work over alternative spring break, we have something for everyone.
Starting my first semester here, I was assistant coordinator of Casa Latina. Second semester, I was promoted to coordinate my own center, the Student Wellness Center.
Being on the track and field team here is the greatest decisions I've made besides coming to UMass Boston.
For the love of the game. That's what it's all about, they say. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team and the schools and communities we represent.
And for the many of us blessed with the strength to compete in sport at the college level, we understand that with what we were given comes a special obligation.
An obligation not merely to work towards a personal best in the classroom or in the sport we love, but rather an obligation to help those who have their own special needs and whose love for the game is no less intense.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics. For Special Olympics athletes, victory belongs not only to those who first cross the line, but to all of those who compete and endure.
They are challenged in ways we cannot imagine. They are survivors who test themselves harder and with greater joy than we will ever know.
Since August of 2011, we and others from Division III campus communities have volunteered more than 250,000 hours, time away from the classroom and practice field, reaching across the country to coach and mentor Special Olympics athletes.
And to learn, as we all do, that in giving we receive so much more in return.
Sport ennobles us, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
Be part of it.
Get involved.
You can make a difference.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
I came here from the University of Michigan to develop and direct the Center for Personalized Cancer Therapy. What is, I think, really great about the CPCT is that it's actually a joint venture between UMass Boston and the Dana-Farber Harvard Cancer Center.
We're able to bring researchers from Dana-Farber with expertise in cancer care, cancer research, and experts from UMass Boston in various aspects of science and sociology, and to really build bridges and partnerships designed to do wonderful, innovative research.
Because of the facilities that we were able to put together through the Center for Personalized Cancer Therapy, we're able to
Welcome back into the broadcasting booth. John Scooters here with Matt Meisenbacher. We'll have you Meisey's man of the match. It's going to be Zach Bross, I believe, we'll be talking to. I mean, I'll talk with Coach Peter Bilal, but you look there, the final statistics, 53 shots on goal from UMass Boston.
Who had the under? I think everyone had the under,
I think everyone
right?
had the
Okay,
under,
so
yeah.
no.
They only had 8 in the third period, although they were shorthanded thrice in that period. They held Wentworth, as you see there, to an 0-for on the power play, which is something Wentworth did a lot last year, and the Beacons continued that trend in 2017-18. The Beacons on the power play, 2-for-5. They got the early goal in the first minute, 6 seconds on the power play, and then they went 1-for-5, 1-for-4 the rest of the way. It is late on a Friday. Face-off-wise, the Beacons did win on the face-offs. Wentworth 42-33, and you see there the penalties ended up being relatively close to even, just 2 extras for Wentworth. Now let's take a look at, why not? We had 11 goals today. Let's take a look at the highlights of all those goals from this afternoon's affair.
Roll them.
here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
We're going to have to go, goal for goal here, I think.
Well, Seth
11 of them.
did a good job putting this together. There were a lot of goals, and Matt, it all began with that power play goal.
Yeah, right out of the gate. And again, a little less than a minute into the game, or a little over a minute into the game, and the Beacons were already up 1. We saw 1-1 here. I guess we're doing only Beacons goals, but you saw here again, Wentworth, Seth's giving me a look. Wentworth scored really quickly after that initial goal, and then the Beacons were able to follow it up right thereafter. We mentioned kind of like a boxing match, trade for trade there. Beacons would take a 2-1 lead.
That was Cody Wickline's goal.
And this is that release. We've seen this one, Larkin. We've seen it do it so many times. I mean, the guy just can pick a side and pick a corner, and he takes it more times than not. That made it 3-1, and we soon hereafter, again, Wentworth was hanging around in this game, and you see they were able to make it a 3-2 game, but then again, and there he is. We'll be talking to him in a minute. Nicky Bross, as I've been mispronouncing. Oh, my God, I can't get it. Scored, and that made it 4-2, 10:27 left to go in the third. And I'll tell you what, John, he's laughing because I can't get the guy's name right, but, the Beacons, even at this point, 4-2, when they made it 5-2, really, after this point, stepped on the gas, took it out. And after this, it really wasn't much of a hockey game. I think the goaltending change, we saw a little bit of a spark from Wentworth thereafter, but it was really Beacons dominating from this point forward.
And, Matt, I'll tell you right now, if we're both still here and Zach Bross is in 4 years on senior day, I hope we interview him and I can mention how Matt Meisenbacher loved you from day one, but could never get your name right.
I like the way the kid played. I
just hope by then that you will. The Beacons do win this one, as you see here, 6-2. That's the blast from the point from the other freshman that had a great game, Albano. In fact, 3 freshmen had goals. Yep. Albano, Bross, and you'll see Jack Riley's with just 3 seconds left. That was a heck of a shot from a tough area.
Quick wrister. I think he knew that the goaltender maybe saw it out of the corner of his eye, but knew he could get it there quick and perhaps it would fall in, and sure enough he did, and that was the pretty one. That was that late feather pass from the top, Larkin and Redler.
And that was a hat-trick goal.
By the way, we should announce, hopefully his parents, if they're listening, are still tuned in. Redler had a hat-trick tonight. There was a goal change that we weren't aware of, and according to our stat sheet, yet to be confirmed and official, but according to our stat sheet, did have 3 goals tonight. So good on him starting out the season with a hattie.
It was the second goal that got changed, and originally we thought it was going to be credited to Larkin, and they eventually credited that to Redler, which is why that third goal became the third goal, and Nolan Redler has himself a hat trick, and I'm not sure if he had any last year. I think that might be his first career hat trick. He only had, 10 goals last year and 27 points.
That, yeah.
So the statistician Seth did not say I'm absolutely wrong, so I'm going to assume that I'm right, that it is his first career collegiate hat trick. So good job for Nolan Redler. He got a lot of help from Colin Larkin. In fact, on all 3 of his goals, the primary assist to Colin Larkin, who now has 1 goal and 3 assists in 2017-18.
As much of a goal scorer, playmaker as well, and that's part of the reason he has 102, well now however many add after tonight, but 102 points coming into the season and looking to add to that total in his senior year.
Well, Colin had 4 points, but he was not good enough to get onto our 3 stars today. We wanted to be a little diplomatic and allow some of the newer faces to get on there. Of course, the first star, Nolan Redler, really can't argue that, a hat trick and an assist. And then you really like what you saw from Anthony D'Arso after a slow start.
Yeah, it was, for 2 reasons. One, it's always tough, new team. You come into the game and you really want to perform well, and I thought he really held it down. It's tough, especially those 2 quick ones. I really did think he was close to getting the yank. When I saw Blyle walk down and talk to his assistant, I know that look, and that's the look of, do we yank the kid? And they stuck with him, and rightly so, and they were able to, settle it down there in front of the net. Good on that kid and getting his first win. And then, we mentioned the defenseman, Nick Albano, with a goal and 3 assists in his end, battled through an injury, and I think maybe had a penalty. He was all over our sheet tonight. So good on him, and those are the 3 stars of the night.
I think about Albano as well. He had the goal and 3 assists, and he missed probably 5 to 10 minutes in that first period with a shoulder injury.
He was, that's right. Numbers. You're right. Yeah, he was out for a while, able to battle through, and ended up with a nice night.
Pretty outstanding stuff from Albano and the Beacons. Let's look ahead at what they have coming on up, as they will be right back at it on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Matt and I will be here for that one. Coverage beginning about 15 to 20 minutes before 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then a couple of road games kicking off a 4-game road trip with big conference battles at Norwich, who right now is losing 3-2 with 7 minutes left against Salve Regina. Keep you updated on that until the end of the broadcast. And Castleton, as they will match up next week. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we will have those interviews both with Coach Belisle and with Mizey's man of the match, Nick Bross.
Nick Bross.
UMass Boston
all game.
Broadcasting Network will be back.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Quick, Seth throwing me quick on the air here after the game here. Post-game interview here brought to you on the Beacons Broadcast Network, and we got the freshman Albano, defenseman, the only new defenseman, right, in this this core of upperclassmen, I guess you could say.
No, Evan helped too.
Was he?
Evans, he was.
Yeah, but he wasn't out there.
Yeah, he was out of the lineup.
Okay,
tonight.
so
yeah.
we'll get to him. Way to throw him under the bus. Nice. Now everyone knows he was a health bomb tonight. Good job. But a great game for you. Always good to get a huge win, right? 9-2 on that.
Yeah.
Jack got his last goal
huge.
there. So 9-2 to start the year. Talk to us a little bit about pregame. What was it like? Finally you make it to the college ranks. What was it like? Putting on the jersey and finally playing your first college game.
Oh, I mean, it was awesome. Obviously, a little bit nerve-wracking at first. I mean, when you're in the locker room with guys like Larkin and Chukrin and all those older guys, it's pretty easy to get into it and whatnot. And I mean, granted, our start was phenomenal, so we needed that. Those first 3 goals were great. I mean, they came back with 2 quick ones too, which was like tough to see, but we just kept going, which was great.
Yep.
So it was really good. It was fun first college game. Nothing to complain about.
Couple of big hits too. We'll get to your point total. I know you're probably eager to tell, walk us through the goal and some of that, but a couple big hits. We noticed it up here in the booth. Obviously, no scared of throwing your weight around. So, is that part of your game? Is that going to be kind of what we can expect to see for the rest of the year, or was that just kind of you wanted to come out and make a presence known early on?
I mean, I don't know. I just try to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I see the chance, I take it. But sitting next to Gals on the bench, he's a big hitter. He's a big dude. Guy's a steak. So
he's not afraid.
He's not afraid at all. So him and Chuck keep me going.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we like to play a physical game. We knew Wentworth was a big hitting team,
Yep.
so we tried to match the intensity, which was good.
Yeah, you guys did well. They had the 2 Arizona State transfers, which I thought you guys matched up nicely against them. I don't think they were held pointless all night. So good job defensively. Going to need more of that all year. So we'll get to it. We had a little bit of discrepancy. We knew, okay, goalie wraps the puck. You're at the blue line. Now, what did you see? Did you know he got tripped up, or did you just fire it, close your eyes? Come on, be honest.
Coach Belisle, he's just yelling shoot. So, I mean, I'm not going to take any chances.
Are you going to do an impression with him behind you?
No, never. He's just yelling shoot. So, I mean, I knew the goalie wrapped it, so I knew he wasn't squaring his net, and I just threw it. I mean, wasn't the prettiest goal, but it ended up going in. It was like kind of a knuckle puck type deal.
5-10 years from now, you could tell people it was a hard wrist or bar down.
Yeah.
No one will know the
I
difference.
know. I'll be telling them in a minute. Yeah.
But no, congrats to you. 4
Thank
points
you.
on the night.
Thank you
A
very
nice
much.
way to start the season,
Appreciate
and we hope to have you up here more.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back after this with Coach Blau.
Awesome.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Welcome back into the post-game show here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. There we go. I'm John Scooters along with Coach Peter Blau. And Coach, big win. Now 6 straight years you guys have won your opener here on Beacons Broadcasting Network. And early on against Wentworth, it was a little bit iffy. Both teams were scoring a lot of goals. But Anthony D'Urso, your new transfer from Daniel Webster between the pipes, he really settled down. You had to like what you saw.
I did. It was kind of a strange game at the beginning. We get that quick one, and they answer, and then 5 goals in the first period. I think more than 5 goals I got. But it was a good effort. I think he did settle in, which was nice. It was 2 kind of shots that I thought, I didn't see the tape, but they looked like he was kind of screened and just kind of right off the boards and kind of knuckle pucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. I liked the way he settled in. I liked our effort all night long, really.
Now, you guys have obviously 3 goalies. We talked off the air. You're not sure who you're going to go with yet tomorrow. But is it possible that Anthony would get a back-to-back start, or are you most likely going to switch it up?
I'm going to talk to the coaches and the captains, and I think we just gotta maybe sleep on it and see what the right thing. We got 3 capable guys, so I think maybe we go with another one. Maybe that's probably what I'm leaning towards now, just to get everybody some games. But talk to the staff, and we're confident in all of them, which is a good problem. We talked about last week.
Absolutely.
So which is a really good problem to have.
An embarrassment of riches. You can never have too many goalies, really.
Yeah.
Now tonight, one thing that was not embarrassing was your passing. I thought, compared to where it was last year at this time, much crisper, much cleaner. There weren't a lot of forced passes over the middle from your own defensive zone. Is that something you guys worked on a lot coming in the last couple of weeks? Is it being more crisp with your passes, a little bit more controlled?
Yeah, and I think that's it comes from our defense. Their defense is more experienced now. Those guys are really moving the puck. I thought Cotter, Chucker and Gallagher, that junior core of D and Albano tonight were really good, and they do move the puck well. And when you get a good first pass, that leads to a good second pass and a third pass. So that's the key, is a good first pass. And I think we have the D that can do it, and the experience, which is really it's refreshing. So that it was refreshing to see that crisp passing tonight.
Absolutely. Now, the only inexperienced defender you had in the lineup tonight was Nick Albano, the man we just talked to, who had 1 goal and 3 assists. Now, he's playing the point on the power play next to Larkin. A little bit unusual for you to put such an inexperienced player in that role. Is there a specific reason why?
Yeah, no, he's a highly touted kid. I think he's our best offensive defenseman, and we told him coming in, he's the guy that needs to replace Bishop there. And I think he has, some of the qualities that Tyler Bishop has.
That's some big shoes.
It is big shoes to fill. I don't want to stamp him as the next Tyler Bishop yet, but he certainly has qualities. And it showed tonight, just the way, he moves the puck. And he's pretty physical, too. So really pleased with him, too. And when you add a kid like that to a quality group of D, it can only help.
Absolutely. He's just one of many freshmen who made contributions today, including a late goal from Jack Riley and a goal from Zach Bross, who played great on both ends of the ice. And he's a player that you mentioned you really like lining on that top line along with Redler and Larkin.
Yeah, no, Zach was a top prospect out of the North American Hockey League, and we got him late this summer. We thought he was going to go Division I, and we stayed with him, and we're just really blessed to have him. He's big, he's strong, he's a hockey player. He can make a goal like that and make a play where he dekes. He can play the body. He can play any way you want. And just a nice compliment for Larkin and Redler. So I love that line. And then Riley had another. He cut the D pass, and he's got great speed for a big length.
Mm-hmm.
He's a long, athletic kid, and had a nice shot there. So a lot of good things tonight. Really pleased.
As were we on the BBN. Last one for you. You got right back at it, less than 24 hours. As typical, last year you struggled on Saturdays and second halves of double headers. What have you done maybe this year to hope that those struggles do not continue into 17-18?
Yeah, we've talked about that, and I think our preparation and our preseason training, we really stepped up. I think hopefully we're in better shape. Jeff Ebbs, our strength and conditioning coach, did a great job with our guys this fall and all summer. So I'm hoping that we don't have the Saturday blues like we had last year. And we just talked about it. We got to complete a weekend now, and that's something we didn't do last year. We were good on Friday nights, and we couldn't follow it up. So they know that the majority of the group knows that. So I think we're prepared. I had a hard Friday practice before that EHL All-Star game to kind of somehow replicate, a back-to-back. So hopefully that helps, but, we'll have to wait and see.
We certainly will. Matt and I will be back at it here on the BBN tomorrow. Coverage beginning at 3:45. Coach, best of luck tomorrow. Hopefully we'll talk to you after a win in 24 hours. That's Coach Peter Bilal. I'm John Skudras. We'll be back in just a moment when we wrap things up with a bow. The final score, the Beacons 9, the Leopards 2, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play,
you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudris. Matt Meisenbacher's catching up with his former coach. Here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, as usual, we thank you for joining us as we take a look at our production team. Our producer this evening, Seth Orensky, our director, Seth and Gigi Braga. Our camera operators, Chris Fowler, Mike Mulligan, and Bree Colucci. Our instant replay extraordinaire, Josh Ruffin. And for Matt Meisenbacher, I am John Skudris. The Beacons win today by the final score of 9-2 as they absolutely ground the Leopards and move to 1-0 for the 6th straight year. They'll be back at it here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network tomorrow afternoon. That's Saturday. We hope that you join us. First with women's hockey, beginning at 12:40 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the men's hockey affair at home against Curry College. That is tomorrow on the BBN. For everyone involved and for you at home, I thank you for watching. Good night, good luck, and good hockey. We'll see you next time right here on the Beacons Broadcasting